Hello, this is your DM Noah, and I think I have some things to explain. Now, first and most importantly, where have we been? Well, the long and the short of it is, we've been very, very busy. Basically, with everything going on in the world right now, namely the pandemic, everything has been more complicated. Namely, school. So with that, school has been very complicated and been keeping us all very busy. But we could have dealt with that and kept doing D&D if it weren't for the fact that we accidentally had a huge file purge which deleted a bunch of our content, including episode 5 of the next big thing, Liberation. So that brings us on to this. If there is no episode 5, what are you listening to right now? Well, this episode is going to be strange because it was made after the fact. In fact, it was made after the creation of episode 6, so the ordering will be weird. Everything will be weird. This is going to be a weird episode. Still, should hopefully be quite enjoyable. So, please enjoy. There we go. That's better. Hello. I see you've been busy. That's alright. The next few minutes are gonna be a bit strange. That's okay. It's normal. Your mind's gonna try and play tricks on you. That's okay too. I'm here to guide you through this. Your memories are still a bit scattered, so we're gonna have to put them back into place. It might be a little weird at first. Now, let's see here. Where were we? Alright, well... The Lich? No, way after that. Whole encounter with Alfred. Oh, I wish you'd talk to him again. You know, he had such fun last time. But not what I'm looking for. The armor, no too far. Ah, here we are. The party, sans Jax, runs to Jasmine in desperation looking for answers. Quite a strange move you made. Didn't expect it. But no one could blame you. Okay, well, let me show you what happened after that. Let me see here. Ah, the antlines, yes. A personal favorite. Now, this is going to feel a bit strange, but I'm sure they'll get the hang of it. Just, try and hang in there. You should hear from me again quite soon. For a moment, you stand in total emptiness. There is a darkness around you, and for the first time, you blink. There's a stillness in the air around you, and for the first time you breathe. There's a quake in the ground below your feet, and for the first time you stand. The ground below you is as dark as the air around you. You feel it leave your feet. You fall downwards into the ground, and for a minute you feel nothing. Then you feel everything. A vibrant wind echoes through the darkness. Cold sound rings out through the still air. A cacophonous light shines out through the darkness. Out of the chaos comes a single thought. Welcome home. You fall all across the world. An incalculable amount of sights flashes through your mind all at once. You see best friends you've never met. All the favorite things you've never done. Most fond memories you've never had. A single moment pierces out of the chaos. You reach out to it. Once again, you are falling. Not into darkness, but into light. You look down. There's something below you. You've seen it before. Attracted to it, you sink into the familiar form. Everything becomes spontaneously clear. You are Jax. No, not yet. You are Jamie. Beside you stands a familiar form. You've seen him many times before. There stands a tall man. He's wearing old and ragged clothes not fitting him. Though tall, he's very thin, and he wears a head of short, curly hair. Though it's far longer than you ever remembered. He looks back at you. Hey, Jamie, are you doing okay?
I'd like to know where we're going.
Alright, well, I suppose the long and the short of it is we're going to my place. We're going to my home. Where I've been the last, God, how long has it been?
Been a while.
Yeah, you're telling me. Look, I know this is all weird and scary, but you just please trust me. And the face he wears is kind and caring.
Okay.
The room remains silent for a while longer. You look around you, trying to pass the time instead. You stand in a small, square room. In front of you, the wall splits away into a sliding door, and off to either side lays a handrail. Though old-fashioned and crude, you appear to be in an elevator of sorts. The counter above the door reads 0. You take it to mean you haven't left the ground floor yet, but to the right of the door lies a single panel, presumably to move the elevator. The numbers written on it are hard to read, not because it's complex or foreign in any way, but because you can't seem to muster up the energy to do it. Instead, you remain still, staring at them for a time. Hey, Jamie, you doing okay? You're suddenly shaken out of your thoughts.
Yeah, I'm fine.
I feel like I lost you for a second. You were staring 100 miles away.
Yeah, I do that sometimes now.
All right then. Can you push button 1?
Alright.
You reach out to the panel, and clearly labeled is a series of buttons. You, as expected, press the first one. Hey, so I did want to ask you, have you used one of these before?
No.
Okay,
It's an elevator, right?
well, yeah, but it's like an old-fashioned one. They're a little, jarring.
Jarring?
Yeah, okay, well, tell you what, how about we just stop it at, hold on for a second here, and a second passes and the air is stale, and then the elevator begins to fall out from below you, and you feel yourself go almost weightless for a moment. The elevator begins picking up speed faster and faster, and you can feel your feet beginning to lift off the ground. Then, the elevator, just as soon as it lurched to a start, begins to slow. And it gets slower and slower until it taps gently on the ground below. As the elevator comes lurching to a halt, a single chime rings out throughout the chamber, and the sliding doors part, revealing a room beyond. The first thing you notice is a dull buzz. You recognize it to be of old fluorescent lights. Stepping forward into the room in front of you, a hallway extends. The hallway is several meters thick, just enough for 2 people to walk side by side without giving you enough free space to roam. Though the hallway was white, the yellow lights lit the room pleasantly, similarly to how sunshine might. Along the hallway, on either side, were repeating doors, extending far out of view. the closest one to you reads 2 numbers, 99 to 100. Come on, Jamie, I think we should probably go and see Miriam now.
Who's Miriam?
Oh, well, I think you're gonna like her. Miriam is, well, she's pretty much the main reason I joined this place. She's really nice. She's like a boss, but, I don't know, kind of like a friend. You know, I think you're gonna have to meet her to get it. It's kind of weird. But she's nice. I think you'll like her.
Oh, okay.
As you're walking down the hall, a door opens beside you. Out of the door walks a single woman. Her skin is dark, and she wears a large and uncontrolled head of hair. She looks happily at you with a set of brown eyes. Are you new here?
Define new here.
Okay, on a scale of 1 to 10, how long have you been here? As in, like, 1 is like, where am I? And 10 is like, I know where I am. I'm not good at this. Are you new here?
I mean, I guess.
And, like, are you, like, staying, though? Are you staying here?
I look to Tommy.
Tommy looks back at you confidently and yet apologetically at the same time. But says nothing.
I guess I am.
Alright, I'm gonna introduce... Okay, I'm Amy. And the woman extends a hand out to you excitedly.
Well, I take it. I take her hand.
She opens with a broad smile, and actually takes a step back and begins to lightly clap, bobbing in place. Oh, that's so exciting. We haven't had somebody new here in so long. Okay, I'm Amy. Did I say that? Okay. I'm gonna go now, but, go talk with Miriam. She will, I'm sure, tell you what's going on here, and like, we can talk later. Oh, what's your name is another thing I should ask, yeah.
Yeah, I'm Jamie.
Jamie. Okay, good to know. I'm going to go now. She takes a step back and lightly closes the door. Tommy beside you, looks at you, and he says, yeah, that's Amy.
She
It's all
seems
said and done.
nice.
Oh, she is nice. She is nice. Bit bracing, but very nice. Now, at this, he turns and once again begins walking down the hallway. As he does, you follow shortly behind him, and you begin getting closer and closer to the end of the hallway. Now, as you do, doors begin opening beside you in the same manner as Amy's did. People begin slowly exiting from these doors, and though appearing very friendly, they wear an almost confused demeanor at the moment. You continue walking, and with no one bothering to disrupt you, you gain more confidence in your step. As you reach the end of the hallway, you can see one door larger than the other at the far end, and beside it is a panel reading 01, Miriam. Tommy turns and he knocks at the door. So yeah, this is Miriam. This is her office.
Are you not coming in with me?
Well, I might. Miriam doesn't always want me in her office, but you know, it's fine. It's sure. He raps on the door loudly. Come in. And Tommy swings open the door, allowing you to go first.
I walk in.
All right. Now, as you step into the room, you enter a gently lit and well-decorated office. The lighting is vibrant and white, and the floor is carpeted with a soft color. The walls are clean and cluttered with a number of photographs and pictures, as well as a number of projections splashed on the wall depicting a scene outside, far above you. A traditional rural backdrop is displayed in all of these images from various different angles, and you see a small farmhouse in the distance, though old-fashioned and clearly digital. Beside you is a single clear desk containing several consoles as well as a number of papers. And sitting behind this desk is an older woman with faded red hair, wearing faded red clothes. Despite this humble appearance, the woman sits tall in her chair and is confident in her stance. Hello there, darling.
Hi.
So, I take it you are Jamie, then?
Yeah, that's me.
Good. I am happy to finally be in your presence. She stands up from her desk, though she is quite short. She reaches over and extends a hand to you. I am Miriam.
I take her hand.
And you are?
Well, you did just call me by my name. I'm Jamie.
No harm in being too polite. I figured you might go by something else.
Oh. Yeah.
Jamie, then. All right,
Mm-hmm.
well, no doubt you have more than a couple of questions going on right now. I would be happy to help you with that, and maybe Tommy or I could take you on a tour. I heard you two know each other.
Yeah. We're friends.
All right, well, that's good. Tommy, can you take a step out then? And Tommy says, yeah, sure thing. I'll do that then. Miriam lightly rolls her eyes and then turns to face you as Tommy leaves the room. So, why don't we get started with questions then, eh?
All right. Let's start with big one, I guess. Where am I?
Okay, you are in, you're in the Antlions. I'm assuming Tommy told you a bit about us?
Pretty much that and nothing else.
All right, then. Well, he never was the best at giving tours. The Antlines... How can I put this? All right, well, let's start with that. The Antlines are an old and archaic form of transportation. It's supposed to go all the way around the globe, though I'm not sure if that's really true. That's where we live. This is kind of a local establishment, but I think there are more. Well, that's true of real life anyways. In VR, we don't really live anywhere. We go pretty much all over the place. Now, what we do is basically, I guess, keep things in check. Now, let me ask you a question. I heard you had a run-in with a gal who said her name was Jasmine, right? Am I right about that?
Oh, yeah, her.
All right. Well, I believe her to be a rather dangerous individual, and it would be part of our job to keep people like that in check, and, well, that's part of the reason you're here. I was wondering if you might be interested in that.
Well, what do you mean? What would I do?
All right, well, let me start with this. I'll give you a little story, but I'll keep it short. back when they first set up all this VR stuff, I know it's hard to believe they hasn't always existed, but way before I was born, they set up this whole VR system, and of course, people went around and were killing and what do people do? They were causing all kinds of trouble. They were making a real mess of things, and well, then people started getting it into their lives. They started having jobs and school and homes on the VR, and suddenly going and killing and causing trouble wasn't quite so good anymore. And well, they got a bunch of groups all set up to try and stop all that recklessness. But time keeps going on, and power keeps shifting, and it's getting harder and harder to tell who's in the right anymore. And well, we're the group who. Well, we're the police for the police. You ever ask yourself if they're judging all us, who's judging them? Well, darling, that's us. Now, I know that didn't really answer your question, but as for what you're doing, it really, I guess the easiest way to say that would be it depends. It would change all the time. You got any other questions?
Yeah, when was the last time someone joined this thing?
Oh, the last new member? Well, it was just a couple of weeks ago, though. They knew someone who was already in the group, so, take that with a grain of salt.
Okay, but when did someone, new come in,
Someone who didn't know nobody. Well, that's been a while longer. A good couple of years at least, but well, I can't say I'm really sure. It's been quite a while. Got anything else for me?
Yeah, well, why am I here?
Well, I mean, I figured you after your run-in with Jasmine, you didn't exactly seem crazy about joining her, so maybe you'd join us instead.
But why me specifically?
All right, well, you know what? Tell you what. How about I don't drop too much on you at once, and I start by giving you a tour of the place, and we can worry about that tomorrow, okay?
Okay.
Alright, yeah, okay. In one swift motion, she rises from her chair, and she turns towards the door. Don't worry, this won't take too long, it should be a short tour. She opens the door and walks out, and for just a moment, you're left alone. You turn and you step out of the door, back into the hallway. Miriam turns to the side and she gestures to an adjacent door on the left of her office. All right, darling. In here is the cafe. It's where you'll get all your food and it's where you can take breaks and chat if you'd like that.
Okay.
Good to hear it. She walks you into a large, old-fashioned room filled with tables and chairs. Lining the walls are a number of the fake windows similar to what you had seen earlier, this time depicting a soft, snowy environment. She gestures to the side, where rests a counter lined with trays. Behind it... Now, this here is Jordan. They run the kitchen, so come down here sometime, and there'll usually be something to eat. And she gestures to a tall person standing behind the counter, wearing a long green apron covering a set of very well-matching green clothes.
It's nice to meet you.
They grant a friendly smile and wave politely, but don't bother saying anything in response. Jordan doesn't talk too much. In fact, actually, you know what? This is all well and good, but how about we don't beat around the bush any longer.
What?
Oh, old expression. How about we skip some of the unimportant stuff and we can get to the real meat of the tour here. I got something big to show you. So right this way.
All right.
Miriam turns off to the side and walks towards the far end of the cafeteria. There, the white tiling wall breaks away to reveal a large metal panel. Miriam bends over and grabs a hold of the bottom of the panel. She lifts, and the panel slides smoothly upward, exposing a room beyond. As the panel slides up, a gust of air blows out from under it, freezing you to the touch. At the same time, the scene around you freezes as well, and soon the gust of wind is the only motion left to be felt. The air gains in force and pressure until it nearly pushes you off your feet. Soon, you lose balance and fall backwards, through the floor and into the darkness below. Falling the same as before, the scene of chaos arises around you and within you. As 1,000 memories flash past your eyes, the chaos becomes overwhelming. I'm going to have to move you again. You're going to need some context for the next part. Milo. Hey, Milo, honey, you alright?
What?
You're just kinda staring off into space a bit.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm fine, hon.
You sure? You seem a little tense.
Yeah, I just, work. It gets on your nerves after a while.
Alright, well, as long as you say so.
Yeah, don't worry about me, honey. How was your day?
Well, it's just pretty cool. I tried out that new hot sauce kit.
Oh, that's fun.
Actually, I was hoping maybe we could use some of it in that delicious looking meal you've been cooking over there.
Well, it is spaghetti, but we can definitely try.
I think it could be a interesting new thing to try.
Hot spaghetti? Babe, what's in the hot sauce?
Well, I don't know what's in the hot sauce, but I know soon the hot sauce will be in the spaghetti.
Honey, didn't you make the hot sauce?
It wasn't very well labeled.
Okay, honey.
But you said you wanted to try new things.
I always am looking forward to trying new things with you because I love you. And I also love spaghetti with tomato sauce and not much else.
And soon you're gonna... And soon, honey, you're gonna be loving spaghetti and hot sauce too.
Okay. You know what I love about you is that you're always pushing me outside the lovely little comfort zone I've built for myself. But, you know what? If you want to have hot spaghetti tonight, we'll have hot spaghetti.
All right. Good to hear. So, how's the spaghetti coming? You almost done over there?
It's looking good. I actually put a lot of effort into this sauce, so maybe we just put a little off to the side without the hot sauce in it, maybe.
All right. So you think it's just about ready to be served? Because I can get the hot sauce out of the fridge. Made like a whole bottle of it in case we ever want to have spaghetti and hot sauce or hot sauce and you could put it on pies
Pies?
or
Could we, though?
or
should we?
macaroni.
The question really is, should we?
I think...
Babe, what's in the hot sauce?
It smells like garlic.
Can I maybe take a
But I
look at
don't
that?
remember putting any garlic in.
Okay.
So, I'm not sure.
This is a very poorly labeled kit you purchased. Where did you get the hot sauce kit, exactly?
Well, you see, I was online. I was looking online, and there was an ad on a website that said "Make your own hot sauce kit."
Yeah.
And I clicked on it.
Well, make your own hot sauce kit? So are you making the kit or are you making the hot sauce, honey?
I'm pretty sure I made the hot sauce. I clicked on the link, and it said pick your ingredients, and I clicked some boxes.
Which said what?
I don't remember every box I click, Milo. Well, life is about taking chances.
Honey, no,
life's about taking chances.
Life is about, yeah. Okay, how much was this?
I didn't check.
Yeah, I got that impression. I'm just gonna check the bank account.
You know what? Don't worry about it. We're gonna sit down. I think I smell some spaghetti burning.
Hot. You can't burn spaghetti, honey. I'm boiling it.
I think I smell some spaghetti boiling.
Yeah, that would be because I'm boiling spaghetti.
And I think we should all sit down for a nice meal. Okay. Nice, delicious dinner.
Yeah, that sounds good, babe.
Alright, great to hear it. Okay then, I'll grab the plates.
Bowls.
Bowls.
For spaghetti. As I've told you about maybe 17 times that we're having spaghetti.
I will grab the bowls then.
Yeah.
For our spaghetti and hot sauce, which we will be having.
Yes.
As a meal today.
Yeah. Sounds good, honey.
Can you set the table?
Yeah, I'll set the table.
Alright.
Love you, sweetheart.
Love you too. As you begin to set the table for your delicious meal of hot spaghetti, your mind begins to wander to a place of abstract fear of hot spaghetti. After a few moments, you've set the table well enough for a meal for two. You pull out your chair and try to sit down, though Carrie's attempts at woodworking only barely made a suitable chair, and it digs uncomfortably into your back. After a few moments, Carrie walks over, with two bowls in hand. She places one in front of you, and out of her pocket produces a small bottle of the presumed hot sauce. With far less hesitation than should be displayed, she begins pouring absurd amounts of hot sauce into your spaghetti meal. So, honey, you just tell me anytime you want me to stop pouring in this delicious hot sauce.
How about right now?
Okay, yeah. Right, okay, let me just stop pouring hot sauce.
Babe,
now.
This is my grandmother's
Alright, there
recipe.
we go. Not bad. And, I can take, the rest for me, maybe?
Yes, all of the rest for you.
I'll pour, I can save some in case we have spaghetti again.
It smells so potent, babe. What's in this?
We've been over this, honey. I'm not sure what's in the hot sauce.
Oh, my God. Good Lord.
It's delicious, I'm pretty sure. I haven't tried it yet.
It's sort of green?
I'm gonna pour some in my bowl.
Okay.
And there we go.
Try it first, so if you die, that'll be on you.
How about we try it at the same time, and it'll be like a cool adventure we're going on.
Like a suicide pact?
It'll be like a cool adventure we're going on together. Alright, on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Oh my God! What's in there?
Hot sauce, and I'm pretty sure it's your spaghetti recipe, so God. I don't exactly know what's in it.
I'm getting like a weird marshmallow aftertaste, I think, but also like onions.
I'm a big fan. It's pretty delicious, right?
Oh my God!
It's pretty good. Well, I think I'll probably make some again.
It's sort of like if you pissed on a burrito and then ate it. And then it put radioactive material inside to kill you very fast.
So it sounds like you enjoyed your adventure of hot sauce.
I would really love it if you remembered a couple of the boxes you ticked, just so I know if I need to go to a hospital. I can't see.
I think you're fine.
I think I'm blind.
It's I think what we have here is a delicious family meal, Milo. I'm pretty sure this is...
Babe.
I think one of your best spaghetti batches yet.
Will you still love me if I don't eat this spaghetti?
Well, we'll just have to wait and see, won't we? It's Milo, it's a delicious bowl of spaghetti. Don't worry about it. Get a glass of milk.
I haven't had asthma since I was 12, and I think I'm having an asthma attack.
Get a glass.
So interesting.
Get a glass of milk.
It's so interesting.
And we're just going to enjoy our delicious bowl of spaghetti and hot sauce.
Okay.
Tell you what. You know what'll get rid of that spiciness? I'll get a little garlic bread for us to dip in it. You left some de-thawing, right?
I never need to eat garlic again. I think that's all that's in the sauce.
Okay, so I'm gonna, okay, so here's some garlic bread. Let's try dipping it in the sauce.
Okay.
And it'll be delicious. Okay, so so let's just have our bowl of spaghetti and hot sauce, and let's be grateful for the spaghetti and hot sauce we have, not the spaghetti and not sauce we could have had, okay, Milo?
You know, I think the real spaghetti and hot sauce is the friends you meet along the way, wouldn't you say, Carrie?
Yeah, but it's also good to have some delicious spaghetti and hot sauce, wouldn't you agree?
I would say it's more of a spiritual, psycho-emotional spaghetti and hot sauce that's really about who
and
we
it's
are
a
as
spiritual
people.
journey we're taking by eating it together as a family.
It's more of the spiritual journey I will take to heaven if I have more of this hot sauce.
And I think that would be an adventure we'd be going on together.
Honey, I love you so much. I'm
glad to
still
hear
not
it, so
ready
let's
for the
enjoy our
suicide
delicious... Milo, I think you're exaggerating just a little bit.
I don't think I am. Well, there's another dinner that you've turned into an adventure.
So,
that's not a compliment.
But it sure has been an adventure, huh? So tell me, what's been going on with you recently?
Oh, my life is dull. As usual. There's never anything I have to talk about.
Oh, then aren't you grateful I've given you plenty of hot sauce to keep it interesting?
Thank you. You've given me so much hot sauce, and big shout out.
I could give you some more if you want.
I'm good, honey. Let me think. I've been trying to get in touch with Trevor. He's got so many classes, that kid. I mean, I know I was a bookworm as a kid, but I
think he could stand to take a page out of my book and drop out and go exploring for a bit.
He could. I mean, he thinks he's been exploring digitally, and I know how you feel about that, but I've seen him in the game. He's really very good at it. It is good exercise. You know, you always wanted him to get some good exercise.
Yeah, I know, but I think he could really stand to go see the whole world, too.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a whole world out there. We don't need to be plugging ourselves into another one.
We don't need to be plugging ourselves into another one. I would like for him to have some real-world experience as well. Luckily, I believe he told me he's taking some in-person classes.
Oh, that's fun.
Nice. I think, what did he tell me? He's taking, European history. He actually goes to a classroom for European history. They learn about countries like, France too, which of course was a big
Which,
thing.
of course, was a huge deal before it got fully exploded. Went down like Atlantis.
Yeah, the 1 year existence of France too is really very tragic.
It's a real endeavor. But I'm
yeah.
glad he's learning about it.
Yes.
Glad he's getting himself out there.
So important to learn about all those European countries.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, honey, he's making friends on there at least. You always remember what a hard time he had making friends.
Yeah, it's good to hear that he's having a bit more luck.
Yeah.
But you know what? I didn't exactly ask what was going on with Trevor. I was really asking about you, Milo.
Oh, why do you even ask about me anymore, sweetheart? You're off having these adventures. I just work in tech support.
Because if it's interesting to you, then it's interesting to me.
Oh, okay. Well, first I dealt with a problem regarding an old woman and her server. And she contacted me asking if her server was offline. So I went into the original server board to check if Are you bored yet?
Well, I'm not bored by the things you are interested in.
Okay. I'll
But,
keep talking then. Here's the thing about the server. Turns out it was going offline on occasion, but only in the evenings because she actually had a problem with her circuit breaker.
Milo, your spaghetti and hot sauce is gonna get cold, honey.
Oh.
So recently I just I just took a nice long hike the other day.
Oh, where'd you go?
It It wasn't too far. Just a 20 or 30 or something miles. I went, up the road a little bit, and then it kind of like goes like, how the road like goes around that like huge mountain. You go far enough.
Yeah.
Well, I went over the mountain instead.
Oh.
That was fun.
I didn't know you were allowed to do that.
Well, by who is the question there? Because I don't think the trees or the birds are gonna stop me from climbing up this mountain.
Well, the trees and the birds won't. Never mind. If I couldn't stop you in high school, I'm not gonna be able to stop you now.
All right. Good to hear it. So, how's your, I know you've been, like, doing all kinds of stuff in the digital game, and I'll tell you, with you swinging your arms around, it doesn't look like you're fixing a computer. What you been doing in there?
Oh! Calisthenics. I put on a little weight recently, and, I'm still tech support. I don't really see why they digitized it to begin with. I'm still at a desk. It's just a virtual desk poking around things. I figured I would start doing, you ever seen the really basic ones that came out like 10 years ago where you just sort of fight these little stick guys, get a little exercise, get your blood going?
Yeah, I think I saw something about that online.
Yeah, I'm not as young as I used to be.
Milo, if you want to get some exercise, you could come on a hike with me sometime. You're always welcome.
Oh, well, I super love to, babe, but, haven't we been side by side in the back of a police car enough times?
Well, you see, those were all... The police usually got to us pretty early on in those hikes, so I feel like we really got kind of cheated as far as the hiking goes.
Sweetheart, I think we need to maybe redefine what we call a hike in this household. There's some beautiful, beautiful mountains in the VR we could show you sometime. I'll still come for you with the real ones, but
There's plenty of mountains out here. I don't think I need to see any fake ones.
I know, it's just less traveling, less...
But the journey's the fun part, honey.
Getting arrested.
But the getting's arrested, the fun part, alright, well, I kind of see your point, but I think I'll stick with the real ones for now.
Alright. That sounds good. As long as you're having fun.
I really am, honey.
I'm glad.
This light scene is, however, interrupted as the bracelet on your hand vibrates. Looking down, you see a message awaiting you from Jax. You open it, and the message doesn't read quite clear at first. But you look at it for a moment, and after a while, the meaning finally becomes clear. Jax is leaving. She sent you a message, and it says, quite simply, quite curtly, to the three of you, "It's been fun, but I think I gotta go." Before you can speak out to Carrie, before you can even look away, you descend again into chaos. Oh, that was a nice one, wasn't it? Can't stay too long, I'm afraid, though. Off to the next. Memories you never had fall all around you. You pass through 1,000 eyes in 1,000 lifetimes. In each, you remember and forget friends and lovers you've never known. You fall again into another memory. The chaos never reigns in. Bullets storm in from the heavens, and fire and brimstone scorches the air around you, searing your skin. You tighten your grip on the weapon in hand, and harden yourself against the hellscape around you. There is a temporary lull in the attack of the demonic forces. Laying far behind you is a well-worn stone structure, a shelter you've been sworn to protect. What do you do?
I meet up with my teammate.
Alright, yeah, I walk over, stand next to Bob, How's it hanging? Have you taken down a bunch of squirrel forces?
Do you have any healing items?
Yes, I do. Do you need something?
Okay, I just wanted to see, because I have squirrels on my side wrapped like 3, so...
Oh yeah, I've been slaughtering these
Your
squirrels with
casual
this.
banter is interrupted by another attack cresting over the horizon. You see the battle start off with a wave of simple and weak squirrel enemies. What do you do?
Let's split up again. I'll take my side again, you take yours.
Yes, I just walk back over to the side I was previously on.
Yeah, I run to my side, but find some cover.
Alright, you get behind You get behind cover and ready yourselves for the oncoming battle. As you look into the distance, you first see only small amounts of small enemies. However, as seconds pass by, these enemies don't stop. The amount of squirrels you can see in front of you increases and increases, until there is an uncountable number of small rodents in the distance in front of you.
All right. So I'd like to quickly turn around and take out my magical lightning bow. You know the one you told me about where it does chain lightning damage when I hit something with it?
Of course, I did tell you about it, didn't I?
Yes, you did. So I take it out and I shoot it at the first squirrel, and as you know, after landing the first attack, it goes in a 15-foot cone.
Naturally, this I'm gonna have you roll. First of all, roll dexterity.
Roll dexterity. Yes, I understand. I got a 4.
All right. It flies short, man. It smacks into the ground, which sure does zap some rocks real good. You taught those rocks, but you only hit 3 squirrels, and currently you're looking at about 3 million other squirrels.
I was hoping to hit 3,000, you see, but that's cool. I'll just...
Alright, Bob, what do you do?
Okay, so I pull out both of my pistols and just start firing and going to town.
Alright, I'm gonna have you go ahead and roll... Actually, I'm also gonna have you roll dexterity.
Okay. I've got...
cut this out.
Are you struggling with those heavy-duty dice that go to China?
Sorry,
I got an 8.
You got an 8. Alright, I'm gonna say you shoot about 8 squirrels. There are some solid shots in there. You pull out your guns, load some ammo in, bam, bam, bam. You take out a solid number of squirrels. But there's too many. In fact, the squirrels have only increased in numbers. In the distance, up close they are in small numbers. You can see a few dozen squirrels in front of you, but as you look further away, they form into an amorphous blob. It is an uncountable, immeasurable amount of squirrels.
Oh, it's almost like the game developers don't want us to succeed on this one, mate. Shall we shall we retreat, perhaps?
Load the nuclear cannon.
Yes, can I use that nuclear cannon that you told me about earlier, Noah?
Of course! The nuclear cannon you've been aware of this entire time.
The nuclear cannon, my favorite weapon that I own.
I'll hold him back.
Just a warning. You screw up this roll, you will blast yourself straight to hell. You realize that, right?
No, yeah, I understand. Alright,
D20?
I'm
gonna have you roll intelligence on this.
Intelligence.
Yeah, roll intelligence.
19?
Oh, well, fuck. Alright, you launch a nuke into the squirrel armies.
Amazing.
Where there were previously squirrels, now is only a pile of destruction and radiation. However, there is a side effect. You see, there are many, many, many squirrels which were instantly blasted to space, and there were many more who almost immediately burnt out. But around the outskirts, there are some squirrels that were not instantly melted, and yet were not unaffected by the blast.
Oh no, they're mutating.
Now, as you look, the squirrels in front of you begin stretching outward in a strange manner. The simple rodent-like hands extend into large, dark tendrils which reach out to each other and pile into one. And before long, rather than looking at an army of small squirrels, you are looking at a giant, many-limbed squirrel monster. It is an amalgamation of squirrel-like proportions. What do you do?
I toss all my grenades at it.
Alright,
I pull out the pins for starting.
roll. No, you just toss them at him like rocks. You're just like, ping, 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 no effect.
Why isn't it
roll,
working?
Please. Roll dexterity.
Oh my.
17.
17. Alright, now, this is a concerning sight. I am going to have you actually go ahead and roll dexterity one more time.
3.
Alright, so here's what happens. You throw a barrage of grenades at the enemy. Now, a few shots miss. However, a couple shots land square at the enemy, blasting it up. It's not quite destroyed, however, and using its remaining strength, it manages to catch one of the grenades out of the air and hucks it back at you, where it blasts your cover away. You are now standing in the open, exposed to the squirrel anomaly. You're speechless. You have nothing to say to this. A giant squirrel monster has just hucked a grenade at you.
I pull out both my Glock 87s.
Alright, where are you aiming? Or are you aiming? Are you just firing off like a madman?
Well, I'm mostly aiming for the head and the heart.
This creature doesn't have a heart. It's a monster. Alright, yeah. You aim for the vitals. Roll dexterity, just again, time and time again. These are guns.
I got an 11.
You take a couple good shots, and they land fairly squarely in the very large being in front of you. However, you do little to stop it, and it continues lumbering aggressively towards you. Now, Malden, what are you going to do? David?
Yes, so if you remember with that electric bow, I'm gonna use it again. If you remember on larger enemies with over 50 health points,
I remember.
They it actually does triple damage. And because it like electrifies.
Of course,
because they're much bigger, they're much larger.
Because
there's more
Alex,
of them.
I understand. Of course, bullshit does triple damage against enemies. You see.
Yes. You understand.
Go right ahead. Roll your dexterity. Try and take a shot. You aiming anywhere in particular?
It probably doesn't make a big difference, but I'll just try and like go into the neck with my
into
bow.
the neck. Go ahead and roll.
My shock bow. Oh no, I got a 15.
A 15. You take a solid shot into it. It doesn't quite hit the neck, but nails the shoulder pretty solidly. And actually, as the lightning strikes down on it, it takes a solid hunk off of the giant squirrel monster.
Oh no, it's triple damage. Does it do 3 solid hunks?
No.
Oh. Okay.
Now this squirrel has been angered, if you can even call it a squirrel anymore. It looks over to you at a destroyed and vile face, Malden, and David. And it actually goes to reach out to you only to realize its massive arms on the right side has been blasted clean off. Now, what this thing does is it actually roars at you one time, and then it vanishes. I'm going to have you both roll perception.
Got a 7.
Got a nat 20.
All right, damn. Bob, what you see is this thing didn't vanish, but it has stretched out into a mass of veins, which are now working their way through the earth towards your partner, from below the ground. David, you don't see shit. You don't see shit, Captain.
Alright, then I just say, like, oh, great. Looks like we defeated it. I just, sit down on the ground with, just, having a good time, leaning back.
This thing's about to go into you like a tapeworm.
What thing? I didn't see anything.
Sorry, continue.
I'm just sitting on the ground, just like, oh, well, it's a job well done, wouldn't you say, Bob?
Bob, you're just not gonna warn him at all.
No, Malden, look out! And I try to, like, jump and push him out of
Who's
the way.
Malden? My name's David.
Oh, David, look out!
We're so unprofessional, guys. Hey, guys, I think we might be unskilled.
Maybe.
Alright, sorry.
I do like
you
that
try
push.
and push him out of the way. Now, I'm gonna be lenient here, and I'm gonna say you can successfully shove the guy out of the way. Now, what does this result in? Is these veins suddenly pierce out through the ground, and I am going to have you do a flat d20 roll.
Which person?
Bob. Sorry.
Nice.
Yeah, he pushed you out of the way. You're safe.
Amazing.
You're safe from everything but survivor's guilt.
Oh. Yeah, it shouldn't matter.
Cold-hearted. Got anything for me, Bob?
I got a 2.
Bob, in a normal world, you might have a second chance. But this is Squirrel Wars. The veins pierce out of the ground, storming you, and in seconds, they pierce through your vital organs and send you flying up into the air. Now, David, are you gonna try and do anything, or is your friend beyond saving?
Oh, yeah, beyond saving, indeed.
Then what do you do?
I know I mentioned I had plenty of healing items. He's not getting any of my healing items. I'm just...
Alright, you're the worst. Do either of
You know the slogan of Squirrel Wars, right? The slogan in Squirrel Wars is no mercy in Squirrel Wars. So, like...
Yeah. I will tell you real quick, Bob, you're gonna have a disadvantage if you're trying to do anything, because you currently have a giant squirrel eating your kidneys. So, maybe a little slight disadvantage.
Okay. Well, I try to give Malden my star gun, which, as you know, has shoots a blast.
As I know, of course. Alright, so you toss it down to his feet. Now,
to the sun.
David, I'm gonna have you roll dexterity.
Alrighty. Dexterity, that's a 2.
It bonks off your head and goes flying just a little bit out of reach. Now, you could go to get it, but you did not pull a cool move where you caught it out of the air and shot. It just bonked you in the nose. You kind of have a sore nose now.
Oh, dang it, that's the worst. That's the worst thing that's happened to either of us all day.
You are the victim of this game.
Yeah, see?
Yes, your friend is getting yeeted around by the giant radioactive squirrel
I feel like what's
you
happening
created.
to me is worse, you know?
Yeah, of course.
I got bonked.
Now, this... I can't consciously call it a squirrel anymore. This amalgamation, it throws you back down to the ground, Bob, and reforms right in front of you guys. Now, granted, it was missing a solid chunk, so it's a large amount smaller than it was previously, but nonetheless, there is still a 7-foot-tall squirrel monster standing in front of you. Now, Bob, you're kind of missing some blood and on the ground, but David, you're fine, aside from a bonked nose, if you want to do anything.
Yes, I would like to, from my sheath on my belt, I'd like to draw out my dagger of lightning, which, as you explained to me before the game...
As I, of course, told you.
as has already been gone over, just explaining this for the people viewing at home, it actually does lightning damage to the enemy, and it does an equal amount of damage as actually getting struck by lightning when you get stabbed by it.
Sounds really good. So roll a dexterity, huck it at him.
Yeah. Oh, that's an 18. You know.
All right, good shot. You bury the weapon into its neck. Now, as was well established beforehand, when you strike an enemy with lightning from only a few feet away, lightning in fact likes to strike you back. So you get absolutely smited. The very forces of God rain down on you, and you two are left bloodied and beaten side by side. One of you missing some organs, one of you, you can't tell where the organs are because you're a charred mess. Now, luckily, you have healing items, if you'd like to use some of those.
I suppose I deserve this.
I use my 18 elixir. I use one of my elixirs, which, as you know...
As I know.
Heals me back to full HP,
as
well as gives me
you don't
an
need to say
invincibility
as we know.
boost.
Clearly, we've discussed all of this beforehand.
Yes, of course.
Yes.
As well as giving me an invincibility boost for about 10 seconds.
I'm gonna pull out my Fortnite med kit, and I just wrap some bandages around my wrists for a couple minutes, and then I'm back to full HP.
Yeah, you relocate your thumb, and bam, all that fire that burnt you is fine, not a problem.
I dash over and...
Alright, so, as we very well established, you guys very fairly defeated this squirrel amalgamation. But you see, there is a problem. As you look into the distance, there is another monster approaching. Now, this is entirely different from what you had seen before. This is not a small squirrel. Its strength isn't in numbers. You see, approaching from the distance, a giant shadow. Or, looking more closely, the shadow made by a giant flying squirrel circling overhead. Now, when I say big, I'm talking, this is a solid whale size. This is what it would look like if whales were actually rodents and also evil and also flew around and then was coming to kill you because you stole its breakfast cereal and now it's very angry at you. So it is absolutely coming for you. What do you guys do?
Alright, well, since I bought that lightning weapons booster pack, that's why I have all these lightning weapons.
Yeah.
I call in a lightning airstrike.
Yeah, of course. You're going to use your only lightning airstrike on this giant flying squirrel thing.
Yes, but once I use it, I'll need to buy another lightning booster pack.
You won't have any more ever. It's a one-time. You can't have any more.
Yep.
All right. Now, as we've all established, this doesn't require a roll. You're just calling lightning on it. However, as has been established in any high school physics class, lightning doesn't affect things that aren't touching the ground. So I'm afraid, my good sir, this thing got zapped, and now it is covered in a vibrant blue electricity. And actually, miraculously, this is Squirrel Wars, and the world is out to get you. Which means it opens wide and shrieks at you, leading to a large burst of lightning charging towards you, Malden. Now, I'm going to have you roll.
I bought the lightning weapon pack,
I'm going to have you
so
roll.
This wouldn't happen.
I'm going to have you roll, chap.
What kind of roll?
Dexterity, please.
That's a 4.
You get pretty... You're not gonna, try and do anything? You're not gonna, try and pull a clever move here? You're just gonna try and dodge out of the way and miss, I assume?
Oh, you know that lightning weapon pack? The last
I'm sorry,
thing
as you know, there were only 3 items in the weapon pack.
No, there were 4 things. The last one was a defensive item. Do you remember?
Yeah, of course.
It's the last one. There aren't any more.
It was a potion that you haven't drank.
Yeah, I drink it. It's a lightning resistance potion.
You drink a lightning resistance potion in the time the lightning is charging towards you.
Yep.
I see. As has been well established, this is well within the rules of Squirrel Wars. Oh, Christ. Alright, well...
It only lasts for 2 seconds, that's why I had to save it.
Alright, you chug this bad boy like you were just challenged to drink a whole chocolate milk carton in middle school, and the lightning bounces right off of you. Now, it doesn't really do anything, it just launches into the distance, but you didn't, in fact, die by the lightning you cast again. Alright, Bob, you gonna do anything about this giant monster?
Yeah, I take out, as it's been well established.
As was well established, yes.
The dimensional crystal.
Now, what does that do, Bob?
The dimensional crystal.
Of course,
I'm gonna have
as
to
was
use
established.
it, Malden, and I break it. And
who's Malden?
Now,
I mean, David.
Dave, you're having these weird. By the way,
Little
side
guy.
effect of the crystal, you're having these weird visions of some real stupid-looking guy called Malden. You've never heard of him before, you know. All right, you crack the crystal open, and as was well established, the energy from it flows out and into the air, and above you, a portal opens. Now, out of it flies a dark figure, equal to the size of the giant squirrel, and this monster strikes out at the giant flying squirrel above you, and now they're having like a squirrel battle in the air. I'd call it a squirrel war, but you're playing Squirrel Wars, so you know.
Because Squirrel Wars is already a registered trademark
Yeah,
of Squirrel Wars
yeah,
Corporation.
it's trademarked, of course.
Yes.
And
I grinded
if I
for
were
a
to say
whole
it,
week to
they'd
get
sue
that.
me instantly. They would bankrupt me, because as you know, Squirrel Wars is the most powerful company in any universe.
They are. In every universe at the
Anyway,
same time, actually.
these two giant flying beasts attack each other. Now I should describe your guy from the portal. It is a giant, several 100-foot-long Cthulian monster. It has giant wings stretching hundreds of feet across in all likelihood, though it's hard to tell. And it is covered in a set of dark, reflective scales, but other than that, you can't really see it from where you are. And it charges towards the flying beast. Now, the two are fighting, but you see, the squirrel doesn't give up easily. It unfurls a flap in its arms on its back. It, opens up its arms, and out flies hundreds and hundreds of tiny, tiny flying squirrels. Now, these are about the size of bats, and they are swarming you. Well, they haven't reached you yet, but they are approaching you so that they can swarm you. What do you do?
Lightning bow. I take out my lightning bow. As you know, the microtransaction, it only comes with 10 arrows, and I've already used one.
Yeah,
so
and you fire at them with the lightning bow?
Well, I wouldn't exactly call it a lightning bow. It doesn't do it in the same way that the airstrike did. It's not actual lightning.
So what you're saying is you still are hitting flying things with electricity, not understanding how electricity works, is what I'm hearing. Is that somehow, at this late point in your life, you still haven't learned the laws of electrodynamics.
I just shoot 9 arrows at them, you know?
You hit 9 of them.
Nice.
All right, because you don't even have to aim. You are firing wildly into the air, and you hit 9 of them. Rather than using, a gun or anything, as has been established you waste your 9 lightning arrows hitting these squirrels.
Yup.
All right. I like it. I like the style. Bob, you got anything?
Does it not do anything?
No, there are flying enemies.
Does that not work?
Lightning has no effect on them. They are in the air.
I take out my machine gun and start firing wildly.
I thought that's how that worked.
That's because you have never gone to a high school science class, Alex. Now, you whip out your machine gun, and you're just going to fire into the air around you?
Well, I mean, yeah.
All right.
But more in the direct.
I mean, you don't really have to aim. There are enough of them that you're pretty much always hitting them. And you see a bunch of them drop out of the air. Now, if you're looking at the ones you've knocked down, you've made incredible progress. But if you're looking at the ones that are still flying rapidly to eat you, you would say maybe not quite incredible enough progress. And these bats, these squirrel bat things, they reach you and they begin trying to attack you. Now, what this looks like is a couple of the ones up front, they're going to like dive bomb you. They're gonna, try and take a little peck at you. And one does it, and it doesn't hurt a ton. But you see, it's just like, it's a little nick. And you see, 40,000 of them might be a little more impactful. So, you got any ideas before the mass of the squirrels is on you? So you got no ideas, is what I'm hearing.
I've
No,
used
I-
all of my weapons and none of them work.
You
so...
have-
I have
I
an
mean,
idea.
you still have like a pistol, but okay, Bob, what's your idea?
The Deadeye rifle. I have it in my inventory. I just gotta go grab it. Malden, no, David, you cover me.
Who's Malden?
Who is Malden? Alright, David, how are you gonna cover him? You gonna do a distraction? You gonna set yourself on fire and do a little dance?
Do you remember that other booster pack I bought?
No, I don't, because there's only one booster pack available this week. Remember, as has been established.
Oh, I forgot about that established fact.
Oh yeah, you see, it's fine. I forgive you.
So that means that I don't have any other magical weapons that I can just say that I own.
No more magic. I mean, you still have a set of gear. Like, you have some guns, you have some grenades kicking about, you still have a couple of healing items. You know, the usual. Maybe a Molotov here and there. Nothing abnormal.
I throw a Molotov cocktail into the air at the squirrels.
You know, when I said, are you going to set yourself on fire and do a little dance, I didn't mean for you to set yourself on fire and do a little dance. All right. I'm going to give you a chance here. I am a fair DM. Roll dexterity, all right?
Okay. 14.
All right. Roll constitution.
2.
All right. And so when I said constitution, what I really meant was inflammability. You see, you huck this bottle into the air, and it's a real power move to basically point blank a Molotov. But you do it nonetheless. And you know what? Screw it. Roll charisma.
Charisma? Oh, because you want me to also do a little
Roll
dance?
charisma.
I understand, yes. I'll, natural 1.
I'm trying my best to make you not seem like an idiot here, but what happens is you huck a Molotov cocktail above you, and it rains down fire. You get a couple of bats. Don't get me wrong, but you see, it also gets you, and you catch on fire, as most humans would when they toss a Molotov cocktail point blank. And you see, rather than letting out like an intimidating or frightening noise, you kind of just squeak in fear and fire. Now, looking at the silver lining, all of the bats are now trying to kill you, which is roughly what you need in a distraction. So now you are on fire and getting swarmed by even more bats than before, but good news, you gave Bob cover, and really that's what matters in the end.
Alright.
Bob, are you gonna
Dude,
use
I
this?
meant like for tense.
Are you gonna use this flammable David time well, or are you gonna waste it?
Well, yes, I'm chugging attack up potions.
Oh, okay, I got you. I mean, he's kind of still getting swarmed. Now, the good news is he's not dead yet, because believe it or not, the fire is warding off the squirrels. So, it's like how if you catch enough diseases, they'll all kill each other off, and you're fine.
Yup. That's
So
how that
you're still on
works.
fire, but the squirrels, they're not killing you just yet. But of course, the second you set out the fire, they'll probably go back to eating your now tastefully charred flesh.
I'll just keep it, you know? I
Alright.
think it's a good look.
So Bob, are you gonna do anything with your newfound strength?
Yeah, I take out the Deadeye, the Deadeye, right. We've already established before the session.
Yes, of course, as has been established.
I said the mechanic of it is that it can target a ton of opponents.
Yeah, it, like ricochets around. I know, as has been established.
No, I think you forgot. It was like you can target multiple opponents in a very quick moment, but the downside is it isn't very powerful. But now that I've chugged 72 attack up potions, I will now target every single one of them by simply looking past.
Your camera, your microphone seems like it's having a stroke and dying, but I think I got the
My
gist
dog
of what
just
you're
entered
saying.
the room.
Okay. Just in case we couldn't get it, just in case we were like, are we sure we're not actually too professional? We might just be too good at D&D, you know? Just gotta get the dog in there, really bring us down to earth.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, I'll have you roll dexterity, I guess. Yeah, sure, go for it.
Nat 20!
Alright, well, I mean,
Why are
David
his
may...
rolls so good?
I don't know, I think... Here's the thing. Alex is known for having uncanny luck. I think either his dice are, like, accidentally loaded, or, like, you're in your previous life you stepped on a leprechaun, because I'm telling you, you got some
leprechaun,
It's
yeah.
the
serious luck
zinc
going on
dice,
there.
I tell ya. It's the zinc dice.
But nonetheless, you whip out your gun and actually fire off a barrage of shots. And it's actually a pretty impressive sight. David, if you weren't currently on fire, it'd probably be pretty cool. But instead it's very, very, very hot. So you take out your gun and you just blast them. And when I say blast them, I mean seriously. The combination of the strength and the ridiculous speed, you're hitting more than one guy per bullet. You'll fire off a shot, you fire off like 10 shots a second, and each of them is solidly hitting several enemies. And in just a couple of seconds, there are no more squirrel bats. All is left is the two giant titans fighting above, and David's still very much so on fire. Which you might want to do something about, by the way, because you're not, as a human, not particularly fire resistant. Actually, you're not a human. What are you? You're a robot,
halfling.
right? You're a halfling. Oh, halflings they're probably a little fire resistant. It's probably fine.
So out of my bag, I take out my Minecraft fire resistance potion. It's a splash
fire resistance copyright.
potion.
Hang on. Hey, copyright.
You mean smelt make?
It's my mince raft.
Yeah, you got your smelt make fire resistance potion.
Smelt make, a splash potion of fire resistance, and I just throw it directly up in the air and then eat it.
The best I can
do down.
is you pour your canteen of water all over yourself, which you could have done at any time.
I mean,
because as you know, fire resistance is not a real life thing.
Yeah, but this is Squirrel Wars, so.
All right. Well, Squirrel Wars is life, you see.
As has been well established. I have all of the Minecraft items.
Of course. And that's when you pull out your Ender Crystal or your bed and you place it down and destroy the Ender Dragon. Now, moving on. Now, actually, above you, as you're glugging this bottle of water all over yourself to stop being on fire. By the way, you could have just stopped, drop, and rolled.
But I didn't do that,
but you didn't.
Well,
you
fair,
hear
it did save him from the squirrels.
A cry out above you. And this is a blood-curdling shriek. And as this happens, the giant flying squirrel hundreds of feet into the air is now very rapidly lowering itself out of the air. And you see as well, a portal opens behind your dark creature, and it escapes once more into its alternate dimension. And this giant flying squirrel monster is now hurtling towards you at a very, very rapid pace. What do you do?
You have your invincibility.
You don't have any invincibility. You are a mortal being which is about to be squashed by a very large squirrel.
I used my my Deadeye to shoot a circle around us. Yeah, where...
All right. Roll dexterity.
2.
All right. Now here's what happens. You fire off some shots above you towards the thing, and these are pretty decent, powerful shots, but the problem is the aim just isn't there, and you kind of just end up Swiss cheesing this big guy. Now, the bright side of that is there are several openings through the body you could use to escape, but none of them are quite nearby you. You would have to jump towards them. So, David?
All right. So, you know that item that I have, Noah? Do you know what I'm referring to?
As has been established.
Do you know that one? It's the secret one. You said that I could only use if it was really an emergency. Can you describe to the audience what that is for me, as we established earlier?
Of course.
Yeah.
So, you're going to use the item. Then tell me how you're going to use it.
Yeah. So,
Alright.
you tell the audience what it is, because I'm sure they don't exactly know.
Oh, it's already
yet.
been established. You just got to use the weapon. Use the item. Yeah.
Use the item.
Yeah. Just use it. How are you going to use it?
I'm gonna use it. You know.
Are
How
you
are you
talking
gonna
about
use
the item?
Yeah, that one.
Are you gonna you gonna point and shoot?
No, it's not a thing that you can shoot, Noah. That's so silly of you to say that.
All right. So what are you gonna do with the item? What are you gonna do with the item, David?
I drink it. You know that item?
I see.
You drank the cheese?
I
You
never expected you'd chug the poison. I gotta admit.
No.
No. Okay. For real. I will be lenient here. You will have one chance to you have one chance to make up another bullshit item to save you, and if it's not clever, then you're gonna get killed. All right.
All right. Yeah. So okay, can I tell you what it is then? Because we both already know. But
of course, as has been established.
This item. I'm just gonna jog your memory real fast.
Yeah.
It's,
please, for the audience.
Yeah. So it's a potion that lasts for 1 minute, and it makes it so that anything that I look at dies.
I would like to take this time to point out this creature is already dead. It's just falling on you.
Can I change my answer?
No, you cannot.
Okay then. I can't look at Bob for an entire minute.
Well, to be fair, you didn't drink it. Well, actually, wait, yes, you did say you drank it. All right, well, do not look at Bob.
I have an item of my own.
All right, no, it's too late for you. You fired your shot. Roll dexterity, both of you.
No, quickly out of my pocket, I pull out a mirror.
You're just gonna blast yourself in the brain. All right, roll dexterity.
Yeah.
What'd you get?
It's a 9.
A 9. All right, respectable. Bob, what did you get?
Natural 1.
All right. Now here's what happens, David. You see that hope is gone, but you have just a few seconds, and in a quick movement, you jump up through the falling corpse and end up harmlessly on top of it. And Bob, you see this big falling squirrel monster and are like, this seems like a good time to take a nap. And you lay down on the ground and get crushed. You are now below about 10,000 pounds of squirrely mass. David, are you gonna do something about this, or
I'm gonna start looking around for people that I can look at, because I think that would be just hilarious.
I mean, there are, to be fair, there are a couple in the distance. You used to have teammates, But I'll put it this way. You guys, for all your chaos, are pretty good at Squirrel Wars, all things considered. And these people were not.
So there's
However,
no one that I
if
can
you feel
look
like
at.
just staring at some small squirrels in the distance, I mean, that works. They're
Yeah, I
kind of just
definitely do
vibing.
that. Yeah, I just
You
start
just
looking
watch
at
some
squirrels.
squirrels die instantly.
That's fun.
They're
Yeah.
just falling like flies, while Bob is being crushed to death. Bob, I'm gonna... Do you, like... You know what? Bob, roll Constitution.
I got a 14.
Alright, well, you're not instantly dead, but you're also not doing great. So do you have, like, a trick to get out of there you want to implement?
I start jumping
like,
up and down on
carve
top of the corpse.
Bob, do you have, like, anything you want to do, or...
Well, I take out my knife, which we established before is a knife.
Yes, we did learn of this, yes?
And I'm just trying to cut a hole while I'm chugging health potions.
Alright, so, yeah, you damage buffer your way of cutting your way out of this squirrel monster. And I'll be nice. You, after what seems like minutes, arrive at the surface of the squirrel carcass. But you are out of health items. Now, David, you have one health thing left, but I'm telling you right now, you both are running low on supplies, alright? Now,
Alright.
as you look into the distance, and David, you've been looking into the distance for a while, specifically for the sake of looking at a bunch of squirrels so they die, but your potion is just about running out now. And in the distance, you can see one squirrel. Now, David, sadly, seeing it doesn't mean you get to kill it right now because your potion wore off, but there is exactly one squirrel standing, staring at you menacingly. What do you guys do? It's
How far
not
away
moving,
is it?
not doing anything. There's no other squirrels. It's in the distance, far enough you can't, like, run or throw a weapon at it, but close enough to shoot.
I pull out the monster manual, which we have established before this point, and I'm just staring squirrel.
Alright, so, that's gonna take you a minute. David, do you want to do anything while this is happening?
Alright. Do I have any short-range weapons?
Yeah, you've got a couple guns. You've got, like, a pistol, you've got a small rifle, and
Yes.
like a full auto thing. Full auto gun.
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna vibe. Just not gonna worry about that squirrel. I'm sure
So
nothing will
you're just
come of it.
standing there looking at him?
Yeah, I don't know that my potion's run out yet, and I'm just staring intently at it like, why isn't it dying? What is this?
You're staring intently at it?
Yes, because I
Alright.
think I can kill it immediately
Now,
just by
Bob,
looking at it,
what
but
you
I can't.
read is you are searching for staring squirrels. And there are a couple things that come up. A couple bugs in the past where squirrels have been frozen in place. A couple stories of people where squirrels have died standing up. And then you land on a strange article. And it doesn't say the word squirrel one time, but you see, it does say something else. It says marmot. Now, in real life, a marmot is just a small rodent you wouldn't be particularly overwhelmed about seeing, but in this game, it is a powerful thing. And it says many things around it, many tips for fighting it, but below it, in bold red text, it says, "Don't look at it." What do you do?
I mean, I didn't look at it.
You didn't look at it, no.
Did someone else look at it though? I can't remember.
Yeah, I don't think we
I feel like
established
maybe you
that.
were all very safely looking down at your shoes, is what I last heard. You gonna say anything, Bob? Or are you just gonna let this play out?
Are you have you been looking at the marmot?
So, as he's saying this, I am very visibly staring at the marmot, and I turn around and say, "Oh, what's a marmot?"
that.
Oh,
All right.
yeah, I've been looking
Now,
at that.
you glance away
Yeah, I've been looking
Now,
at that.
you glance away for a second to look at each other to say, I wasn't, what's a marmot? And then as you look back, it has changed. Now it is a couple feet closer, yes, but there's something strange about it. It is not just closer, it is far, far larger. And it takes a second for you to realize it wasn't small and up close, it was large and very, very far away. And the squirrel is slowly, it's still, the marmot, sorry, is now standing, still in the distance, at what you can only guess to be a very impressive height. What do you do?
Alright, I'm planning on using the tips that I got to beat the boss.
Alright, yeah, it told you to not look at it, was a big one. And actually looking at the book, it specifies looking at it will make it far, far more powerful. But if you do look at it, you might as well keep looking at it because it's a one-time thing. Now, it says
That's
it
oddly
is...
specific for just bold red text at the bottom.
No, this part isn't bold red text. I'm paraphrasing.
Oh, okay.
Now, a couple of the other tips are that, like many of the rodents, it's pretty weak to fire. A good shot to the head will probably help take it out, but it specifies that this thing's fighting pattern is large, but you see, it is about... It actually specifies it is maybe 20 feet tall, a very large squirrel. Except, if you look at it, it is far larger, and actually, as cruel as fate is, and maybe a little spiteful for all the various lightning weapons Malden has gotten over the years, the book reads that it will change in height depending on how much you've looked at it. For the first time you look at it. Sorry.
Okay, so I have been staring intently at this marmot for a solid
Well, you
minute.
were for a solid minute, then you looked away. So God knows how big this thing is what I'm saying.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm not very good at describing. I didn't expect you to... I mean, it was obviously established you had a monster manual. But, I had forgotten, you see.
Alright, well, at this point I say, listen, we dine in hell tonight! I pull out both of my guns and start aiming for the head.
Alright, so you're readying to shoot it once it gets in range?
Yeah. Do you have any more Molotov cocktails?
No, I drank my last one.
You know what's kind of funny is that sounds like a really bad thing, but that's like you pretty much just drank whiskey, is the funny part. A Molotov cocktail without the cloth is just alcohol.
Yeah, and also I pretty much did drink that, so like,
You did. It depends. Are you a frog which can drink things through your skin?
I mean, maybe.
Alright, well,
now
there is a...
Sorry.
Well, there is a code. It's called Molotov Cocktail 7744. Open your mini device.
No, there isn't.
Established. Okay.
Look, things can be established, but if you're opening the console menu, I gotta call it quits. Now, you guys are standing ready facing this marmot, which is big, I'll admit. But as it approaches, it gets bigger and bigger until you truly can't believe the size of it. What you are looking at is a creature that has to be several miles in height. It stands such that every step it takes shakes the earth like an earthquake, and it has its eyes locked on you. It is now within shooting range, if you feel like blasting.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So in the real world, this would just be like a mouse-like creature, like
it's a little bigger than a squirrel.
Alright. So would you say in the real world it would have like a challenge rating of 1?
I mean, it depends. Do you think
I am a druid, wild shape. I've been staring intently at this creature, and I can now become this creature.
All right, you know what? Fuck it, man. Roll. Roll something. Roll something.
And because this specific one is Miles big, I shall
You know what?
as well
Roll
be Miles
something.
big.
Roll something, man.
And because we are in the game of Squirrel Wars, I too shall be Miles big. Yeah, it's gonna be a solid 18. Don't know what that means. I don't know what you were rolling for.
Do you start changing shape?
Wild shape doesn't need a roll, but you know, we can just do this.
Well, what I was going to, the roll would determine your size, but since it's 18, you actually extend to be pretty much the same size as this very, very large marmot. Now, it's been well established. Real life marmots are, of course, in fact, just transforming squirrels, as is real life, as we know. So,
well, I mean, that's what
now,
this is. So, you know, I'm, you know.
So you are now a giant marmot monster, and time feels slow at this size. You can't see your friend beside you. All you can see is the distant fire of hell and a giant marmot standing right in front of you, ready to fight. Bob, do you want to like try and impact this battle in any way, or you just gonna watch and let it play out?
I mean, I'm not sure what I can do, but
I truly didn't see this coming in the slightest, so I don't know what I could do either. I'm DM and I don't know what I can do at this point.
Well, I just did a thing.
You could, I guess, if you feel like it, you could pull like pull a Shadow of the Colossus and clamber up this bad boy.
Yeah, I mean, we can just have a good old-fashioned duel.
What do you do?
Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna start doing a Shadow of Colossus.
You're gonna start climbing this bad boy?
Yeah, because they're distracted by Malden.
Alright, so you as it steps by you, trying to... Sorry? Alright, as it steps by you, trying to reach David, you grab onto its leg and you start climbing up. It's gonna be a long climb. I said it was gonna be like a mile, so it's gonna take a while. But, you know, you start heading up, and more power to you. Now, David, what you see is this giant marmot monster. It reaches out a hand, and it swipes at you. Roll a dexterity check.
Dexterity, that's a 10.
Alright, you manage to kind of shake off the blow. It hits you, but it hits you loosely in the shoulder and does little. Now, how are you going to retaliate? I will take this time to mention you can't use any items, can't use any abilities. You are just a marmot now.
Yes, I know. That's pretty much how wild shape works.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying.
Nice. So now I am just a marmot. I try and wait. How far away is he from me? Like in terms of
he was how big far away, but because you're so big, he's within smacking range.
Amazing. I would like to try and jump at him and claw him as I'm coming down.
All right, sure. Go ahead and roll something. Just roll. Just roll.
Just roll. All right, that's a 9. I don't know what that means.
You kind of pounce at it and you push it, but it doesn't fall over. It stays on its feet. Now I'm going to have you roll Constitution, actually.
Alrighty. 19. Alright.
Alright, you're feeling fine. You're not winded, you're ready to keep going. I guess just Bob, just roll dexterity, I guess. Just
Dexstitution.
Roll Dexstitution.
That's the best stat.
Roll dexterity. We'll just see how fast you can go.
Remember when you said I was rolling well? And I was just naturally lucky? I got another nat 1.
You see, your Shadow of the Colossus energy is low, and you stand perfectly still, making no progress clinging to this man. You're not you don't fall down because you're kind of just hanging on there, but you make literally no progress up this creature. Now, David, again, this creature actually, since you are right nearby, it is going to extend its neck and try and bite you. Roll.
What roll? What should?
Dexstitution.
Dexstitution. That's a 15 in dexstitution.
All right, you manage to push it away before it can bite you, and it doesn't hit you. What do you do?
No one gonna do any damage? Alright then, I quickly spin around and whip him with my tail.
Wait, hold on. Hang on a second.
I whip him.
Hang on,
with
hang
my
on, give me a second.
tail.
Do
No, I
marmots
do.
have tails? Yeah, they do have tails. All right, fair enough. Roll strength.
Strength, let's go.
Sorry, I just had to make sure marmots actually had tails for a second there.
19.
Oh,
It's
you
tail time.
smack him. He's still totally functional, but you kind of see him wince and flinch away.
Oh yeah.
Now, Bob, are you gonna try and keep climbing?
Yeah, sure. Come
Roll.
on, Dexstitution. Come on, Oh,
Get
God.
this. Uh-oh. What was your dexstitution roll?
Well, I mean, to be fair, it bounced off and, like, I fell. If it does count, I got a nat 1.
What?
For a double nat 1,
How
I
does-
think God
no,
just hates
but-
you.
But I fell over while rolling it. I did get a nat 20 on...
You got a nat 1 in real life, too. You know what?
Yeah.
Just call it a reroll. It evens out. Call it a reroll.
Alright, well, I just re-rolled and I got a nat 20, so
No,
either
I mean,
way...
that's what I was saying. Call it a reroll because if you got a nat 1 and a nat 20, let's just say they cancel each other out.
Just roll it again.
Okay. Got an 8.
Alright, now here's the thing. You would expect to be making very little progress. But, interestingly, the creatures above you seem to be moving strangely slowly. Now, as you could probably guess, since they are very, very big, time is sort of going differently for them. And though from your perspective you only make it up a small distance, for them, you're making quite a climb up the creature in a sort of super speed, and before long you've made it most of the way up the leg of this marmot. Now, David, you whipped this thing with your tail, and it is annoyed. You see, it actually leans over, and it's gonna try and headbutt you head on. Roll a dexterity.
Alright. 7.
Alright, it nails you in the chest. You're fine, but it kind of pushes you away a little, and you're left. I mean, it does damage. It hurts.
Oh,
How do
well,
you
we're not doing
respond?
hit points. That's cool.
No, not really. I don't want to go over the top.
Alright then. Very nice. I'm just...
What do you
In
do?
Scroll
Chilling.
Wars, there is no hit points.
There's
The
just
only
life
hit.
and death. Yeah.
What do you do? What do you do?
Yeah, I, in response,
In response.
I bite out at him with my sharp marmot's teeth.
Alright, yeah, roll strength.
Strength. Alright, 12.
You bite into it, and you feel blood splatter. It doesn't, it's still alright, but you've done damage to it since the beginning. Now roll Constitution.
Constitution. Bam. Oh. That's a 1. Alright.
Wow.
That's fine.
Alright, you actually feel yourself start to get winded. And it is actually kind of difficult to breathe. You see, being at this big a size, you're not really working the way you should. You see, mimicking a regular marmot is one thing, but something this big, it is very difficult for you, and you're feeling yourself start to go just a little bit weak.
I mean,
You're still
fair
on your
enough.
feet, and you can still fight, but you're not having a good Sunday day, alright?
I mean, it makes
Bob,
sense.
Bob, are you just gonna keep climbing?
Yeah.
Alright, roll.
19.
Oof. Now, before you were struggling, you kept slowing down, kept almost falling. Now you are clambering up the side of it. It barely seems like you're climbing. You're practically just walking up this creature. And you kind of bounce from hand to hand, and before long, you are on the creature's upper back. Wow, dog. Okay, before long, you are on the creature's upper back. And you still feel fine. You're fine. Now, David, this creature is getting very annoyed. It just headbutted you, and that is nice. It's happy about that. And then, what did you do to it?
I bit it.
You bit it. You bit it
Yes.
on the head, and it is now angry. So it is actually going to swing its whole head up at you and try and smash your teeth. Roll dexterity. Roll destitution.
Destitution 15.
15. All right. Yeah, you duck out of the way just in time. And how are you going to respond?
All right. After ducking out of the way, I roll on the ground because dodginess, and then I come up and while I'm getting up, I jump and I try and land on him, all fancy like.
That I'm struggling to see the mechanical components of this, but roll dexterity, I guess.
Nice. Oh, that's an 8.
You dodge out of the way just fine, and you try and pounce on him, but he catches you, and you're left basically locked in arms, just holding each other in place. Roll Constitution.
Constitution 3.
Okay, you are feeling very faint. You can barely breathe at this point, and feel like you cannot keep up this form pretty much any longer.
Wait, if I die as a marmot, do I die in real life?
No, that's only rats.
Oh, okay.
Don't worry, I'm not insane.
Alright.
Bob, what do? You just keep climbing?
I keep climbing.
Alright, roll. Alright, in no time flat, you manage to crawl the rest of the way up, and you find yourself standing on the giant marmot's head. Now you were very fast enough to get to the top of its head, but not quite fast enough to attack in this same turn. So you are just reaching the top of the marmot's head and end up standing in the right position. Now, David, the marmot sees that you are weak, and it goes for the kill. It goes for a swipe directly towards your head. Please roll dexterity with disadvantage because you are barely standing.
Yes, I understand. Alright, that's a 12, and that's a 14, so 12.
12. Alright, you can block it, but it still hurts a bit, and you really think you're about to pass out. What do you do?
I just do a pretty basic try and punch him in the face.
Alright,
Just,
roll
take
strength.
that, marmot. Marmot, more like stupid head. Oh, natural 20.
Okay,
Very
you sock it in the
nice.
face. It looks very hurt. And actually, it looks just about as woozy as you are at this point. Now roll Constitution.
Oh, yeah, I'm gonna just die of being big. That's a 14, but whatever.
Because you got such low rolls last time, you while fine, cannot fight any longer. And well, I guess I'm because it was a high roll, I'm not going to choose for you. Would you rather just stay there big, or would you rather turn small again and be able to keep fighting?
I'll just stay here big, take advantage of the extra health,
You're just standing there, unable to fight.
I just want to take another attack before
Now,
I become
Bob,
small.
how are you going to attack him?
I'm going to move over to its ear and shoot it.
Into the ear?
Dang.
Yeah, into the ear.
All right, man. All right. What are you shooting it with, out of curiosity? Like a pistol, or like a rifle, or like a shotgun, or what?
I'm shooting it with a rifle.
All right.
A normal one, as well established.
Go over to the side, and this thing has just been punched. It is withdrawing. It is woozy, and you point the rifle deep into it, and you fire. It doesn't feel right to say dexterity because you literally can't miss. How about strength? Strength as to how deep you can jab this thing into the ear.
I got a 16.
You really stick it in there and fire off a shot, and as you do, you hear a deafening roar. And then the roar stops. And this creature is left standing very, very still. And before long, it starts to tip and falls backwards. Are you gonna, jump off?
Well, I don't... Do I have a parachute?
No.
You're gonna die.
I mean, you're just falling. What are you gonna do?
This is the behind the scenes
You
that you
need to
don't
do
see in
dark
Shadow of the
things to
Colossus.
survive. Climb inside of its ear.
It's pretty nasty. Alright, you know what? The earwax keeps you nice and safe and cushioned. And this thing falls down, and it is very squishy and absolutely nasty. But, in your defense, you survive. And you crawl out of, crawl out of this putrid ear canal you've just been hiding in. Like the freak you are. And you've won. I mean, you've won, but at what cost? Okay,
there isn't
disgusting.
Is there another wave or something?
I mean, you could have jumped onto David, who was still big.
He was still close enough?
I'm still big.
Yes,
but
it's fine. It's fine. Don't worry about it. You're fine now.
I'm just gonna unwild shape, and as actually is well established beforehand, I can't wild shape again. That's an actual rule. So.
Yeah, you're done.
Yeah.
And you two are left with no healing items, doing physically alright, emotionally very, very tired.
Well, yeah, since I was in wild shape when I took all those blows, I'm totally cool.
I mean, not really. You still take the damage.
I mean, you don't. I mean,
you're still beaten up for sure. And Bob, while you survived in the ear canal, you still kind of got rocked around.
You're
and
slimy.
You guys are both. Yeah, oof. You guys are both very tired. And as you look into the distance, you actually see the dark night stops for a second. And in the very distance, you see the sun begin to rise. And then a little message in front of you says, "Congratulations! You survived through the night, and you are taken back to the lobby. You survived another round of Squirrel Wars."
Alright,
Alright, yeah.
We had fun along the way.
Now, you guys are left in this lobby.
No.
It's like a little room with glass walls overlooking the huge fiery arena. And as you pop into this area, you see a solid 3 or 4 teammates beside you who you've never really met before. They just kind of joined in and died quickly. And they're all very excited. They kind of cheer for you and give you pats on the backs. And they pop metaphysical champagne because you're still over the digital world. But they are very excited at your guys' success. You guys gonna do anything? Say anything?
I'm yeah, I think I could really get used to living as a giant marmot. I mean,
a couple people definitely chuckle, and one beside you says, "Yeah, you're gonna be in the records for that one, I'm sure." How? Quick question: how has nobody ever thought of that before? May I ask?
I mean, I guess not a lot of people play as a druid. I
can see why. But you really saved us today. So good job, pal. And he gives you kind of an awkward pat on the back.
Nice.
And you guys actually feel yourselves get a message. Your bracelet shakes. And this message is from Jax, and it's to you two and Milo. And this message says, basically, "It's been fun, but I'm leaving." And nothing more. And very quickly, the fun you guys were having seems to fade away, and the celebration doesn't seem quite so exciting anymore. And only a couple seconds later, you see Milo say something to you as well. And she says to you two, "Hey, can we talk?" And nothing more.
Yeah, we gotta go back to Milo's place for sure.
For sure. This time, with somewhat less impact, you are again falling. The chaos builds around you again, though you've long since become numb to it. As before, out of the chaos comes one piece of logic. One memory stands out to you as making sense. You begin sinking into place. Thought stands out to you. For a moment, your memories become clear. You see, standing in front of you, 1,000 different people saying 1,000 different things. All speaking in unison, the words become clear. Don't forget. In an instant, you fall through the chaos and into another form. Miriam stands beside you once again. The panel she recently opened in front of you reveals nothing but darkness at first. Cautious about stepping headfirst into it, you shoot a questioning glance towards Miriam. Now, don't go telling me you're scared of the dark, honey.
No, I'm not scared of the dark.
Alright, well, that's good. Just give it a sec. If they got these crazy automatic lights going on in there, we'll step in and it'll light up in a second. And confidently, she walks into the darkness. As you step through, Miriam was in fact telling the truth. Some unseen eye takes notice of you, and the old machinations of the place begin working again. Lights flash on all around you. You stand in an impossibly large room. Though no bigger than the cafeteria in width, the ceiling stretches hundreds of feet above you. Looking to the sides, you lose the ability to speak. The room stretches endlessly forward. You can only see it extend a few miles ahead at best, but the room seems to go on far longer than that. Looking back, the room extends out of sight in that direction as well. The flooring and walls are worn and tried tile, though still functional, and though most of the lights had already turned on, the room remained mostly dark thanks to the sheer size of it. Miriam beside you acknowledges your reaction with a contented nod. She walks over to the wall and, pulling something away, reveals an off-white panel, mostly disguised by the wear on the tiling around it. Flipping open the panel, she reveals a set of switches. She takes only one moment to glance back at you once more, and you can't help but stare in awe of the room around you. She smiles happily and flicks a switch. As she does, a series of spotlights shoot down from the ceiling. They light up an old and worn track, though it sits covered in enough rubble too destroyed to understand the original purpose. The lights above you shine into the massive wreckage on the ground. And, as they do, the machinery shudders and shakes to life. As one mass, it begins shaking, and gradually, slowly, it lifts into the air, as vibrant neon lights flick on. In front of you rests a machine of unmistakable power, hundreds of feet in width, and thousands in length. Made of a soft, matte material, it looks impossibly light, almost entirely unbound by the effect of physics. Beyond it, the segments begin to alight the framework. And shortly, going back for miles, a blinding light causes the chamber to shine like day. At this scale, the device is more akin to a force of nature than a work of man. Then, just as quickly as it awoke, the machine shudders, and the lights flick out, and it falls back to sleep and sinks gently to the ground. Oh, yeah, sorry. She really drains power. Don't worry too much about it. She'll be fine.
What is it?
Well, darling, these are the antlines I told you about. These are the systems that were connecting us all together. I mean, they sure don't anymore, but we had to get our name from something, so we might as well use this better than anything else I've seen.
It's incredible.
Yeah, she sure is. I mean, she's a bit broken down now, but I'm glad you can still see her the way I do. She used to carry people from everywhere to everywhere, but you don't hear too much about it now.
Can it move?
Well, I don't really know. Maybe with enough power, but hey, we've long since forgotten how to get her to start. But, hey, that's a pretty enough sight as is.
She sure is.
Listen, why don't I send you in the way of your room? It's late, and I'm sure you're tired at this point. As Miriam says this, I'm not sure if I like this line. You know what? I'm gonna stick with it, and we can always edit it out in post.
Yeah.
As Miriam says this, it all becomes very real once more, and you find yourself very suddenly grounded. You've been very busy, and likewise, you are very tired. Come on. Miriam guides you out of the room and back into the cafe. She takes you down the hallway and begins walking you back towards the elevator. Instead, she stops partway down the hallway. She gestures to room 79, where you had previously met Amy. Alright, have you met Amy?
Yeah, I met her earlier.
That's good. Do you get along with her too well so far?
Yeah, she seems nice.
Alright, that's good. Well then, honey, this will be your room for now. You know, we can always move things around later, but at least for now. Now there are free rooms if you really want them, but something about having a roommate makes it all much better, I think you'll find, so. Alright, I guess I'll leave you to get settled. And Miriam turns away, but hesitates to leave for a second. Hey, honey, listen. I know that the past couple of days have been hard on you. And, well, I know you've been dealing real well, but you go ahead and tell me if you ever need to talk, okay? So, I promise this will all start to feel normal eventually.
Sure. Thanks.
Without saying anything else, Miriam turns away. Having somewhat more confidence than before, you turn and you open the door to your new room. The chamber beyond rests gently on the line bordering between unpleasantly dim and normally lit. The walls have clearly not been cleaned recently, yet rather than having accrued dust and cobwebs, have instead gathered an assortment of colorful stains, covering the off-white paint. A thin hallway extends forward before opening into a somewhat larger, though still somewhat small, rectangular room. The room is mirrored across the center. On either half sits a single, uncolored bed with a small chest at its foot. In the room also sits two small bedside tables, and one large dresser with a large mirror above it. In the far corner of the room sits Amy, the woman you met before. Idling on her bed, it takes her only a moment to notice you, and once she does, her eyes light up. Oh, hey, Jamie. Did Miriam give you the tour?
Yeah, she did. The place seems pretty cool.
It really is. Trust me. So yeah, this is our room. Looking closer, a few things about Amy's side of the room have been clearly modified from yours. Namely, several posters of bands and shows you don't recognize hang on the walls, and a framed piece of paper depicting a high score for the game Squirrel Wars you recognize. In addition, in exchange for a single bed, Amy has placed a bed bunk, despite apparently having no one else to be in it.
Amy, right?
Yeah, that's me, darling. Okay, so, let me show you the ropes. So this side of the room is my side, and, that side your side. I mean, you're totally welcome on my side, but it's, okay, so, yeah, everything on your side is yours, and everything on my side is mine. Like the bed and the dresser and such, and, I'm a pretty heavy sleeper, so, but but I don't often, so that shouldn't be, like, a problem, but if you have to wake me, don't be afraid to really wake me. Okay, what else? Okay, right, okay. So I got some, like, vitamin lights, because when you're down here, you get all pale and pasty, and that's not great, so I got these. You can use them as much as you want. Okay, also, let me show you this. And in a smooth motion, she jumps out of her bed excitedly. But, as she does so, wangs her head loudly on the top of the bunk bed. Ouch.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm good. I just,
It kind of looked like it hurt. A lot.
I'm fine. It's not like a huge deal. So, like, yeah, it's fine. Yeah.
All right.
Moving slightly more carefully, she steps off of her bed and steps away from it. Jumping up, she climbs up the side of the bed and bounces off. As she falls down, she taps one hand lightly on the ceiling, and as she hits the ground, lands confidently, though her expression is largely betrayed by her hair becoming even more wild. The tile she tapped slowly unfolds, revealing a small VR headset, which falls away from the ceiling, attached to a small band. We can play games. I mean, we have a whole bunch of these in a separate room, but, like, it's nice to have your own as well, you know. You have one too, go ahead. And she gestures up to the ceiling, several feet in the air. She stares at you expectantly, not having acknowledged the fact that the ceiling appears to have rested at least 10 feet into the air at the moment. Go on, you jump on up. Yeah, it's not too hard. Here, I'll show you. Amy steps over to your side of the room, and she jumps up onto your bed and bounces up to the ceiling, tapping your tile the same way as she did hers. Fuck, I forgot my line. We're the worst at this.
We're the worst at this.
Okay, it's fine. Amy steps over to your side of the room. She jumps up onto the bed, and quickly bounces up to the ceiling, tapping your tile the way she did hers. As she does, a VR console falls away from yours as well.
So you just, jump up there anytime you want to use it?
Well, there's a ladder you can use, but I don't. The headset will, like, pull itself back up if you don't use it for too long, so, don't worry too much about putting it away. But yeah, you can use it pretty much whenever you're not out and on a mission. So yeah.
A mission? What mission?
Was I not supposed to tell you that? Okay, nobody told you. That's fine. Everything's cool. Alright, cool. So what we do here is, it's super cool. That's why I was so excited to join. Okay, so, first off, did you know there used to be, like, crime in the VR?
Well, I mean, I guess I kind of just assumed it. I mean, it was kind of a platform.
Well, then, like, the question is where are all the hackers then, right? Because, like, I haven't seen any of you.
No, I don't think so.
Alright, well, that's the big idea, is, like, we think, well, there's gotta be somebody out there keeping an eye out for these criminals.
Is that us? That's us, right?
No, that's
No.
not us.
Oh.
Well, I don't know. I don't know who does that. Well, kinda. Well, maybe. You see, we keep them all in control. Like, the higher-ups know who, like, Miriam, she knows who we're watching out for, but I don't. But, like, we go out, and our job is to stop all these gangs from, you know, deciding who's committing crimes and who's not, and so we're trying to keep them all in check. If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
We don't want anyone thinking they're allowed to make the rules. That just wouldn't make any sense.
But okay, so you're trying to stop a bunch of people with no identity?
Well, I don't know who they are. I mean, like, Miriam knows some, but she doesn't want to tell me because, well, she doesn't want to tell me.
Why not?
Well, I never really asked. She kind of just took this tone one day and told me no, and, I trust her. I think she doesn't want to put too much on my plate alone. Oh, that reminds me, plate. Has anyone shown you the printers? Okay, so they're like these crazy 3D printers, but they're really fast, and they can print, like, really complex things. That's how I got my special bed.
Actually, maybe we should, do that, tomorrow. I need to go to sleep.
Oh, yeah, I gotcha. I'm gonna be up a couple more minutes. Sleep well, Jamie. Yeah, sleep well. And as what little strength holding you up lets you down, you find yourself falling forward into your bed. However, as tired as you are, you never hit the bed. You fall right through and descend again into chaos. The chaos begins to build around you once more, though far less threatening than ever before. In a matter of seconds, you find every fiber of yourself pulling you once again into a new form. As before, you sink into the being that you now know as your own. Again, you are Milo. But something is different. You look not through the eyes of Milo Feldman, but through the eyes of Milo the Adventuress, and you are angry. The figure in front of you would ordinarily be quite imposing. In front of you stands a tall and strong-looking elf woman with a vibrant head of blonde hair. Were you not currently piloting the body of a large Firbolg, you might have been scared. Instead, you were angry. In front of you was the woman who had put you and your friends in danger. The woman who had destroyed your sense of normalcy, and the woman who you had come crawling back to protect your friend. Milo, I suppose we have a lot to talk about.
Yeah, you've got that right. What did you do to her?
To her, Milo?
Jax. Who do you think I'm talking about? You think I'm supposed to believe a message like this that she's just gonna dip?
Wait, I'm sorry. She what?
You don't know.
Have I not made that clear?
Yeah, right. You think by playing dumb you're gonna get out of this? I'm asking you right now, what did you and your lackeys do to her?
I don't know what happened to her. I don't know what you're referring to. Where is she?
I don't know.
Well, then, what's the problem? Is she gone?
The problem is, you don't just get involved with these insane criminals and assume that somebody just took off for no reason. She was a part of our group and suddenly she just wants out. Come on. What is this, some new approach where you just start kidnapping us one by one if you want us?
Milo, I know you have never wanted to trust me, but if you ever do, know that wasn't me.
Why should I believe you?
I think I've given you plenty of chances to believe me, but it wasn't me.
You've given me so much reason to trust you. How about you give me one nugget of information about last name? How about your last name, Jasmine? Let's start there.
My last name?
Yeah.
Milo, you're a hacker. You think I'm just going to give you my last name? I, who has not exactly been on your best terms for this entire time.
Oh, I'm sorry, Jasmine. Did I ruffle your petticoats by asking for too much personal information? You do realize you've been asking us to join a criminal syndicate for the last several days?
Milo, I can't tell you that.
Your last name, you mean?
Yeah.
Okay. How about, shoe size? Huh? Skin tone. My point is, Jasmine, you're an enigma. You've told us nothing. What possible reason would we have to trust you? You've shown no trust
10.
in us. What?
My shoe size is 10. I answered a question. Now will you trust me? Just this once? Milo, I like to keep my professional and personal lives very separate.
Yeah, so do I, which is why I don't like it when my friends get kidnapped by freaky criminals who won't own up to it.
That's because it wasn't me.
Alright, how about you answer me this? Even if it wasn't you, is there even a slight possibility it was somebody you work with?
Someone I work with? Yes, but not someone I work for.
God, you're like a fortune cookie, woman! I mean, do you hear yourself talk? What does that make a difference? What does that make it? You haven't told us one actual tangible thing, and yet you want us to join you.
If I tell you, will you just trust me? If I tell you what you ask.
How about this? How about you tell me what you would have me do? Literally, if I were to join. And no, fulfill your destiny, and no,
I
do
don't
what you're meant
believe
to do.
in destiny, Milo. I'm just doing my job.
Alright, what would my job be? Huh? If it's not Royal Tech Advisor, then you're wasting your time.
Milo, you have more skills than that.
Says who? Look, I'm an IT girl. Tech support. Why you'd want me is beyond my understanding. I mean, and not to insult them, but let alone those kids. I mean, what's Bob? 15? He acts like it. What exactly makes us so skilled, huh?
You've asked that question before, Milo.
Yeah, and you're not gonna answer it, are you?
What if I help you find her?
Wouldn't that be going against who you work with, not work for?
Anyone who I don't work for works for me. It's hard to go against them.
I'm supposed to believe that.
Look, you have skills. Why haven't you tried to find her yet?
I'm going to. I suppose it was stupid of me to assume that you'd be any more productive than the computer. Any more clear. Thought maybe, if it was you, you'd be a decent person and own up to it before I had to follow that route.
Milo, it wasn't me. I don't know what happened to your friend. But I can help you find out.
What do you mean help me find her?
We have eyes everywhere. I know where she was. I can find out where she is.
Eyes everywhere, huh? suppose that means in my house.
Do you want my help finding her?
What will it cost?
You're not going to trust me, are you?
Not until I have reason to.
Jasmine's eyes go very still. In fact, all of her does, and you know very quickly that she's taken off her headset, wherever she may be. And a few moments pass in the quiet. And then she's back. And she says, "All right, I think I've got something." She flicks her hand up towards you, and in front of you, a display appears. It is a small and old apartment complex in the middle of a city. And that's it. Nothing more of note.
This is where she is?
No, I don't think so. But it's where she lives, or where she works, where she was before. Look. And she drags her hand forward, and you see time speeds up in the image. And then she slows down, and time approaches normal speed again, and as it does, you see a black car pull out in front of the building. And a few moments pass, and you see someone step out too far away for it to be clear. And they approach the door of this building, and they go inside. So this person, I don't know for sure who they are, but I think I know why they're here. I think your friend has been taken.
Taken? By who?
I don't know if this is for sure. Look, I've got eyes everywhere. That doesn't mean it's easy to understand what's going on. But look, and she drags the display forward in time again, and someone walks out, and two people get in the car, and it drives off. No more clear or high definition than before. And she actually changes the display to a different camera. And this angle's a little worse, and it's a little farther away. And the car continues driving. And she keeps switching cameras, keeping her eyes on the car until it approaches the edge of the city. Now, it's going to be harder to find them, to track them, because they're leaving my jurisdiction. But do you know how to track someone's bracelet? Have you ever been curious? Ever tried?
I haven't, but I could.
Do it.
It's against the law.
I think we're a while beyond that, Milo. Your friend's either been kidnapped or left, and either way, it's not a great situation.
Alright.
She doesn't look away from you as you set to work. It actually takes far less time than you would be comfortable with for you to find her, and you can see the path of where she's been. and the bracelet registers as being simply along the side of an old back road. Still. This is the part that's concerned me, Milo, is her bracelet has stopped reading, and they don't tend to do that very much. If they run out of batteries, they go to backup. If they run out of that, they go to solar. They're not really built to just turn off.
Someone broke it.
Maybe. But the concerning part is where. See, it's these back roads. You remember how I said this is out of my jurisdiction? Well, that's because it's someone else's.
Whose?
Look, Milo, if you thought we were a criminal organization, you have to understand we still work within the law. The rules bend when we say so, but we don't break them. Your friend is in the area of a real criminal group. Radicalists.
To what end?
I wish I could say I knew.
Well, what do they want? If they're radicalists, I'm sure they want something.
Well, it's hard to say. We can't track them down there. But, well, either they took her by force, or... Well, Milo, I don't want to tell you who your friends are, but she didn't look like she was coming out of the building in handcuffs.
Look, I don't like what you're insinuating. Jax is a good girl.
Milo, I don't like this any more than you do. But you wanted to know where she is. The best I can tell you is where she was.
So, you helping me, that's what? An order? A kindness? Show of trust?
It's just that. Just me helping you. Nothing more. And after this, I don't expect you to trust me anymore. I don't expect you to join me, but please, just consider it.
You know, Jasmine, I think if you want people to trust you, you could start with maybe not answering stuff like, whatever fate shall say, or when the moon ends, to questions like, what's your favorite color? Anybody told you you're a little vague?
Milo, in the business I work, being any less than vague can be very dangerous.
Well, you could write for trashy science fiction novels, I'll tell you that much. Thank you for whatever your weird alien motives are.
But just... Please, if you don't join me, if you don't trust me, that's fine. But don't fear me either, alright? I never wanted that.
Alright.
And Jasmine is gone. Again. Vanished just as quickly as she appeared. You take a moment to compose yourself, and after a while you find yourself turning and walking out the door. You turn and exit through the door of your small cabin. As you step outside, the cool, simulated air brushes against you. You look out over your lake. And working mostly on instinct, you find your way around to the other side. Like it's second nature, you settle into place, leaning against a small, shaded tree on top of a small hill. Out behind you, a field of softly colored grass extends far beyond view, while the cabin in front of you is far away and nearly indistinguishable from the scene around it. A gentle breeze brushes against a small ring of trees bordering distantly on the lake. Around the near side of the lake rests an old and mossy stone wall, looking far older than the code generating it actually is. You look further into the distance. The green grass around you slowly fades away, and the trees grow more and more sparse. Bordering the edge of your land, a field of soft, tall, yellow grass stretches onward where the trees do not, before even the grass falls away to a soft, featureless digital landscape. You click into your bracelet. At the click of a button, you change forms. For a moment, you're disoriented, but you quickly adjust. You're no longer Milo the Adventuress, no longer as tall or as strong, and no longer invincible or fearless. You're as you've always been, human. You fall away once again. Though, this time, the chaos is weak, and so tired. And you are too. Below you, you see the form of Jane, lying still in bed, and you sink into place. Though, this time, you never stop falling. You are Jane. This much is clear to you even now. But the rest doesn't click into place. You are falling through a seemingly endless void, though you can somehow sense the ground approaching. And you find yourself standing atop an impossibly dark surface. You look around you, but the darkness is complete and total. Suddenly, a flashing light pierces your eyes. A single, large eye stares directly into you. Beside you, another eye opens, and another, and more and more and more eyes open out of the darkness. And though the light they make blinds you, the darkness remains complete. You find yourself clutching at your head, attempting to hold desperately onto any remaining sanity you have. You fall to your knees. As you look into the darkness below you, you see Jax looking back up at you, submerged in the darkness. She swims up and forces against the ground below you. And then she stops. The world turns, and she is standing above you. You, however, are submerged under a deep, inky darkness. You try to hold your breath, try not to drown, trying not to let it in. But you begin to sink. It's no use. You've already lost. Suddenly, you jolt awake. You lay in an unfamiliar bed in an unfamiliar place. It takes you several moments to notice why you're awake. Beside you, an alarm clock sits ringing continually. You sit very still for several seconds, hoping that if you don't move, somehow you'll remember where you are. So, you gonna turn that off? Amy beside you speaks. You're sitting in your new bed at the antlines.
Yes, sorry, yeah.
It takes several more seconds for you to force your eyes open as you tap the hand... It takes several more seconds for you to force your eyes open as you tap your hand down gently on the alarm clock. What little light is in the room seems nearly blinding. Beside you, Amy sits up in her bed, her VR console still attached to her face.
Hey, Amy, how'd you sleep?
Oh, I didn't?
Really? I mean, I thought I remembered you saying something like, I'll be up in just another few minutes, and then I'll go to bed.
You can see Amy reach up to her face and peel the machine off of her head. It looks extremely sticky. She blinks a few times, and then turns to look at you. Her face is covered with red marks. So I stayed up all night again, didn't I?
The headset marks on your face say so, yeah.
Alright, don't worry. I got a plan for this. That's just what happens when you get caught up in games. Rolling over to her side, she snatches an item off of her bedside table. A sealed bottle of medication. She begins attempting to fiddle with the child-proof lock. It takes her far longer than it should to open a small bottle.
Yeah, I play games too. I don't know if
Oh,
I'm
yeah?
going to continue doing that.
What do you play?
I don't know. I just here and there. I've been playing a fantasy game lately. I have a party. Had a party.
Did you have a big falling out?
I mean, this whole thing kind of happened, and I don't know.
I'm sure you could probably still talk with him. You could go see Miriam about it.
Yeah, but it'd be awkward.
Aw, that's alright. I'm sure your friends won't mind.
Yeah. Do you need any help with that?
No, hang on, just 1 second here. She continues attempting to open the bottle, though to no major success. After a moment, in frustration, she pulls the bottle aside and begins attempting to smack it against the corner of her bed. Still to no avail. I just gonna get the bottle open.
I'll just
quick.
open it for you.
I think I know how to open a. Okay, thanks. She tosses the bottle over to you.
Yeah, I open it.
What? Wait, how'd you do that?
You press down on it and you twist. It's kind of simple.
Alright, well, we'll come back to that later. Here, pass it over here.
I give it over.
She takes the bottle, and she pulls out, 3 small tablets, and takes them. They're caffeine pills. They can really help keep you awake. Want one?
No thanks.
Yeah, you sure? Seems like you didn't get too much sleep last night.
Yeah, it's fine. I just had a nightmare. It's no big deal.
Ah, I see. Alright, oh, that reminds me. We should go to see Owen. Yeah, you obviously know Tommy, but I bet you haven't met Owen, right?
No.
She quickly jumps out of bed and begins walking over to the door of your room. It's the room right across from us. Not a problem. They're right over there. So let's go see them. They're right next door.
Okay.
As you follow her, she leads you to the doorway right across from your room. The first thing you notice when you enter the room is a loud grinding noise. As you get closer, you can recognize this noise more clearly as snoring. You walk in to see a room just like your own. In one of the 2 beds lies Tommy, clearly being the source of this noise. In the opposite bed lies a man you've never seen, presumably Owen. He is a tall man with short blonde hair loosely brushed off to the side, and his face is soft and his eyes are bloodshot. Hey Tommy, hey Owen, how's it going? Tommy, in response, slowly shudders awake. Oh, hey guys, how's it going? Hey Jamie.
Hi.
Owen rolls over and grabs a similar bottle of caffeine pills from his bedside table. Oh, you're not sleeping again, I noticed. Yeah, very funny, Amy. I wonder why that keeps happening. Beside you, Amy and Owen exchange a clear look. Alright, so, Jamie, Owen, Jamie.
Hey, nice to meet you.
Yeah, likewise. So, who are you?
I'm new here.
Ah, I see. I am Tommy and Amy's friend. So, I'm pretty new here too, but, I'd imagine not quite as much as you, seeing as I've never seen you. So,
Yeah, one would assume that.
Alright then.
Tommy brought me here.
That's fun. I'm sorry. Tommy shouldn't bring anyone anywhere. So yeah, I'm friends with Amy and reasonably with Tommy. And yeah. Oh, hey Jamie, I forgot to say. Miriam wanted to talk with you well, nowish.
Oh.
Really, she said she wanted to in the morning yesterday, but yeah, that's nowish.
Okay. All right then.
So yeah, just trying to break up the awkward silence here. All right, goodbye.
Yeah, goodbye.
You quickly turn out of the room, attempting to leave the awkward situation as quickly as humanly possible, and begin heading towards Miriam's office. This time, you have no trouble finding your way through the long, single hallway, and throughout the building, people begin to pull themselves out of their rooms and congregate in the cafe. The foreign environment begins to feel almost familiar. They're predictable, and frankly, you could use a little predictability. As you reach it, you gently knock on Miriam's door. Come in. You enter the room, once again facing Miriam. Oh, hey, honey. I wanted to... let me start by asking, do you have any questions left over from anything?
Yeah, I still have one.
Sure thing, yeah.
So, why am I here? I asked earlier, but why?
Okay, well... oh, well, you're right, you did ask that the other day, darling, but, I suppose the long and the short of it is I don't really know. Well, okay, so, who I'm supposed to invite is mostly down to, well, my higher-ups. I'll get, messages, and they'll tell me who I'm supposed to invite, what I'm supposed to get done, and then I pick who to send. And well, they just picked you out of the blue. I mean, they picked people before, but, I don't know if maybe I'm dropping a bit much on you, darling, but they just said that you would be a good member. I mean, who am I to doubt him? You seem like a fine person, so...
But why me? I mean, Tommy brought me here, but, is he a higher up or something?
I mean, I've heard of them. I've heard of them picking people before, darling. It's just not... I mean, they don't do that around here very often. So... I mean, it's not unheard of. It's just... who am I to question, you know?
Yeah.
You'd have to ask them about that.
But is it because I'm in danger? But even if I was in danger because of Jasmine, I don't know.
Oh, well, you might have been in danger, but...
Yeah,
well,
why didn't you... there's other people who met with Jasmine. Why didn't you meet... Why aren't they here?
I wish I had a better answer for you, darling. But really, the only answer I have is the one I've given. I'm sorry.
Well, what do I do here now?
Well, sooner or later I'll be picking a mission to send you on. But, well, I don't think I'm gonna be doing that quite yet. I mean, you're brand new here, and you've been through plenty already, so that's part of the reason I wanted to bring you here and talk to you, is I wanted to ask you, do you think... Well, darling, for your first mission, I was thinking maybe you just play it cool, and you go back to where you were, you hang out with your friends, or whatever. I mean, we wouldn't want people getting too suspicious if you just up and vanished one day, but, you know, I also wouldn't, in my right mind, send you on a mission fresh into the group. What do you think? Would you like to go back to them?
I guess, I mean, the way it kind of left things was kind of, I don't know, it felt kind of final, but...
Well, honey, if the friendship's meant to last, then I'm sure it'll all work itself out, okay? Now, I'm afraid, sadly, I am actually busy today, so why don't you head back home and, well, you can log into one of your consoles, and I guess you can go see him again. Try and have fun, okay? This is... Just because it's work doesn't mean it can't be fun.
Okay.
Alright, well, I'll see you around, darling, okay? See you around, honey.
Okay, see you around.
You find yourself again sitting under a small tree. The wind brushes slowly against you, lifting the pleasant aroma of the fields below all around you. A moment of peace and quiet speaks more now than the days of chaos you've been thrown into, and you act almost instinctively. Flicking on the digital bracelet you wear, you reach out once again. You send another message to Gina, although you doubt she'll respond. And you send one more, this time addressed to Trevor. You ask to talk. Surprisingly, it takes only a few seconds for him to respond. He asks if you can meet up. In response, you simply send him an invite for him to join. In a few moments, a figure appears pixelated in front of you, though it quickly sharpens, revealing a clear figure. In front of you stands a tall man, wearing long and distinctive, colorful robes. Hey Mom, how's it? Oh, I'm sorry, let me switch. He quickly taps on his bracelet, and his form changes to a far shorter, far less fantastical man. Oh, hey Mom, how's it going?
Trev, how's it going, kiddo?
It's going pretty good. You said you wanted to talk with me?
Yeah, I just want to catch up. How have you been?
I've been doing pretty good so far. I've been keeping up with school.
School going well? I kept an eye on your grades through, the grades program. You're doing so awesome.
Aw, thanks.
I'm loving it. How's your you have one in-person class. How's European history?
It's been really interesting. Interesting as in, like, interesting the choices people in the past made. Has been interesting.
Your mother went almost completely in person school. I only had one online class.
No, I mean, the whole... Well, have you ever heard of, France 2?
I know about France 2.
Well, let me just tell you, the events that lead to it, it's, whew.
I was a kid when it sank.
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting story, to be sure. It's,
yeah, they really...
Oof.
I mean, arguably, you shouldn't have made the first France, let alone a second one.
Yeah, I feel like they should have really learned their mistakes after the first one. And who'd have thought they'd bring back the guillotine? That one caught me.
I mean, Laser Guillotine was a really rough period in time and a really good band. Do you ever jam out to Laser Guillotine? As a kid?
Mom, I don't think anyone says jam out anymore.
I think people still say jam out. I think they do.
Alright, Mom.
I jam out, you jam out. He, she, we, jamming out. Yeah.
But, I feel like...
Shredding on your electric guitar. You still do guitars? Do you kids still know about instruments, like, in your hands? Or is it all just sort of music programs now?
I mean, my friend has a guitar.
Yeah,
and
okay.
he's got a couple string things. It's like what do you call them? They like lutes, but they're tiny.
Ukulele.
Yeah, that one.
Oh.
Stuff like that. I usually, if I want to play something, I usually just do it online. You know how it is.
We did give you piano lessons.
Yeah, and I still play piano. Just
with the keys.
Yeah, with but digital ones.
Yeah,
you
that's
see.
what I. You know, there was a flavor to the old that you would go to school.
Oh, here we go.
And all your, I'm just saying, all your classmates were your classmates, and if they were, tough to look at, then it was what it was, and not everybody was. I attended a
Milo. I'm not avoiding people because they're ugly.
Well, that's what you did in my day. It was a dark time, and you learned to live with it. As people who were ugly just got bullied, and that was the way it was.
It
sounds a lot more nostalgic when I think about it rather than say it out loud.
Mom, you're really selling the point on. You're really selling that point for me.
Okay, so e-college has certain positives. I'm just saying.
But having an in-class class, like having a class in class has been pretty nice, actually.
Yeah. Fresh air. Do you even? This is a crazy question. Do you even recognize your classmates? Do you know who's who? In the in-person class, because they all. Do you have to? You don't have to wear skins that look like you, right?
No. We don't. There's no dress code here. But I don't. I know a couple, but that's because they told me. I don't know most of them.
Man, different time. I'm glad that you're getting the best, most modern education that you can, and I won't. I'm starting to sound like your other mother. Good Lord.
Yeah, but that's all right. It's nice to have a change for once.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of having to I have to use these old devices to put in the info sometimes, and a couple of times they even have you actually sign how you'll sign your name. They want you to sign the answers.
You mean write them, sweetie?
Well, when you say it like that, it makes me sound like I'm the one who's being weird.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
But it's hard to get used to.
Have you ever seen a pencil?
Well, that's what we're using.
Oh wow, they have you using proper number 2 pencils.
Wait, I'm sorry. It's either that or pens.
Is it black or gray on the page?
It's blue.
That's a pen, honey.
Oh, well, then they have us using number 2 pens.
Okay. I actually did come here to ask you something.
Oh, yeah? Yeah.
Have you talked to Gina at all?
Well, it depends on really what you're saying about talked. She sent me a text a while back.
Oh?
She was asking how you guys were doing, how I was doing in school, stuff like that.
Trev, why didn't
Just
you tell me?
trying to check in. Well, because she didn't want to reach out to you guys, just wanted to make sure you were doing okay.
Well, she can tell us anything. She can tell us whatever. Did she tell you anything else? Did she sound like she was on drugs in the text, or maybe she couldn't, she was in trouble, or?
I don't really know, Mom. It's the first text I've gotten from her in 4-5 months by now. I don't know what she's texting like.
Lord, didn't you and her, when you were kids, you used to play in the VR games, and isn't there some way? Has she just abandoned her old avatar? There's no way to trace it back to where she might be if she's been using. Never mind.
Mom, you're talking about stalking.
Well, she's my daughter, and you're allowed to stalk your kids.
Yeah, but she's also, she's pretty much just a whole woman person now, and you're also kind of not.
She's a semi-adult. She's an adult like you're an adult. And you don't know what a pen is.
I feel like you're gonna hold that against me for a while, and I'm not crazy about that.
Well, I can't help it. You are just so uneducated. I mean, do you even know what the Pen 15 Club is?
No, I don't. I only know about Pen 2 now.
I don't even know how to respond to that. So much has been lost. I mean, at this rate, you're not even going to know about Updog.
What's up, dog?
Not much! How about you, Trevor? Get it?
I don't understand.
It's like you asked me what's up with me and then called me dog. But I said...
Why would I call you dog, Mom?
Because that was what we called each other back when times were good. Because you'd be like, hey, it smells like Updog in here. And then it'd be like, what's up, dog? And be like, what's nothing much. What's up with you?
Mom, you're kind of old.
I'm not... You will feel this way when you are my age. You think you're so cool with your little wizard costume, and soon enough,
Hey, I didn't mean...
all your modern tech is gonna be...
You said you wouldn't mock me for my wizard costume.
The wizard costume is a little extra. It's a lot. I'm used to old fantasy where they wore the gray robes.
I happen to think my wizard is particularly fashionable.
Okay.
And for the record, so do several of my friends.
Your friends. Okay.
So, Mom, what have you been doing recently?
Oh, work. IT is so... It's what it always is, I guess. Bland, but stable. Be surprised that turning it off and on again seems to be a solution that we'll never, in the history of mankind, ever seem to understand.
I could never be an IT. It just, you gotta deal with a lot of people.
It's work. It's a job.
Yeah, that's good. I'm glad at least you're still keeping busy. You must get bored sometimes.
Well, I have actually been, partaking in parts of the game from time to time.
Mom, are you dressed up in a little wizard costume too?
I'm not a wizard, actually. I will have you know, I am a fighter character. And we're just gonna, maybe just don't tell your mother, okay?
No big deal. I still don't think she knows I dress up as a wizard to fight guys.
She knows, honey. She just doesn't care. There's a difference.
Oh. Huh. I didn't know that she knew that one.
Well, I don't tell her the details. She knows you like your games. She's always known you liked your games. You've been playing since you were, 6 years old.
Well, yeah, but I didn't know she knew I still did that.
Honey, I don't think anybody thought you were going to stop. It's not like it's anything
But
to be embarrassed about.
apparently you're going to start.
I've been trying to... You know how your mother is. She likes... adventure. And, I figure if it's not real adventure, it'll be a little more easy to ease into when she wants to break laws and do crime. What she
break
calls
laws
adventure.
and also do some crime.
Do crime. Yeah. Your mother and I are working on the legality factor.
Can I see your
No, absolutely not. You're gonna make fun of me so much.
Well, you were just making fun of me for wearing a wizard costume.
You're my son. It's different. I'm allowed to make fun of you.
That doesn't seem very fair.
I think it is.
Alright, well, if you're not gonna show me, then at least promise you're gonna have fun, okay? You have like a party, or you just run and...
I'm traveling with a couple of... they're such kids. I mean, there's no age on here, but you can just tell. the audience for this program is still much younger, which surprises me because it's been around for a while.
Yeah.
It seems like most of the people who play the actual fantasy game are, these kids. They feel like they're like, what, in their 20s? Teenagers even?
I have never met your friends, Mom.
Well, but I mean, you talk to these people, and even if they're, dressed as whatever the heck they are, you can tell what it sounds like when it's a 20-year-old talking.
I mean, I don't tend to look too closely at that. If they're dressed up, then I pay attention to what they want me to see.
Huh. Different mindset, I suppose. Anyway, kiddo, how'd you get a break in the middle of the day like this?
Break?
Yeah, a break from school?
So, a while back you taught me, how to, it's digitally, duplicating. You make yourself in two places at once.
Is there a scarecrow in your class right now? A digital scarecrow?
I feel
That's not what I taught you to duplicate for.
I spent a lot of time on it. I feel like it's kind of rude to call it a scarecrow.
No.
And I'm also not using it. It's not here.
That techno duplicate was designed in case you were ever in trouble and somebody didn't want you to leave the situation you were in. That was for safety purposes only, okay? That is for solely safety purposes. What class are you supposed to be in right now?
I'm supposed to be learning history.
Your one in-person class. You're gonna, Trevor. You already get so
No,
fresh air.
not European history, Mom. I would never miss out on another chance to learn about France too.
How many history classes are you in?
2.
Wow, I loaded you up. Anyway, history is very important, and I hope that you have rigged that scarecrow with a monitor for sound and sight and will proceed to take detailed notes on everything you are neglecting. When I said I could meet up with you, I more meant after school.
But, Mom, it's U.S. history. It's boring.
Look, just because the U.S. dissolved 12 years ago doesn't mean that we don't need to learn its history anymore.
It's not coming back, I'm sure of it.
We can't be sure of that. France did. France came back.
France also sunk into the Atlantic Ocean.
Yeah.
And then the Atlantic Ocean was renamed.
When the United States sinks into the ocean, you're going to have to learn about that in history class too. Now go on, go to school.
All right, Mom. Have fun, okay?
Bye, buddy.
As your son vanishes from your little digital plot of land, the air again goes very quiet. However, after only a moment, this quiet is broken. Another message shakes your wrist. And like before, you flick it open and take a look. This time, it isn't a message from one of your contacts, one of your friends. It's a notification. It says, Jax has entered your plot. You move quickly and off of instinct alone. In seconds, you find yourself on your feet, and in moments, you find yourself running towards your home once more. Milo, after only a few short moments, you've reached the door of your cabin once more, and swinging it open quickly, you reveal the room beyond. Now, what you see at first is, as before, Jasmine standing bothersomely off to the side, and as you step in, you see that Bob and David also stand to the outer edge of the room. Turning, you can see the thing of definite most note, Jax is once again standing in front of you.
Jax? What are you doing here?
Hi, I'm back.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yay.
Where'd you go? We were all worried sick about you. You just vanished.
I just had to go and think about stuff.
Well, alright. I mean, we're all very glad you came back. It's good to see you.
It's, good to see you too.
Well then, all's worked out pretty well then, wouldn't you say, Milo?
Jasmine, thanks. If you had anything to do with this, which you're not gonna tell me except perhaps in a Hemingway-esque metaphor.
So, then, Milo, I have to ask, would you be willing to reconsider my offer?
About your organization?
Yes.
Sorry, Jazz, I may have reconsidered you, but all this nonsense, there's just no way.
Then, I'm afraid I might have some bad news for you.
What?
You see, remember when I said my organization has eyes everywhere?
Yeah?
Well, I am not exempt from this. And you see, they are a very persistent bunch.
What's that supposed to mean? No, wait, you're gonna take us without our consent? I don't. We just got back together again. We have stuff to do.
What's going on?
I don't know, but she's talking in a way I don't like.
Milo, I want you to listen to what I have to say very carefully. I think it would be far better for everyone if you reconsidered my offer now.
Is that a threat?
No, Milo. It isn't. Not from me.
Boy, here we go. Well, how about this? How about you tell me exactly what will happen if I say no? In excruciating detail.
I'm not sure, Milo.
Yeah, sure.
Milo, tell me honestly. Is there any chance of me convincing you to do this?
Sure. All you'd need to do is tell me what was involved. Like any job offer. But you won't, so no.
Then I'm sorry, Milo.
Well, what's that supposed to mean?
And Jasmine reaches up one hand to the side of her head, and she moves her hand and gently, once, snaps her fingers. And in a moment, the scenery changes. You're no longer in Milo's old wooden cabin. Instead, you stand in the middle of a large metal cage, with nothing but a soft, lightly colored dirt as its floor. You hear the echo of a crowd overhead, and across the distance, you hear a call. Now, folks, it looks like the last part of the business has finally arrived. So, without further ado, let the games begin. Set you back down now. That wasn't too hard, was it? You might be a bit disoriented at first, but it shouldn't be too bad. I'll see you again soon. Though,